John Turturro claims that the reason he did not reprise the role of Carmine Falcone is because he is against violence against women in shows. But he's okay with it in movies, pretty much. So I give this a thumbs down, dude.
This week's hidden gem is Spawn.
And now we're dancing as Venom for some reason just so we can attract the big monster.
Let's make the alien funny. And then, oh, wait, let's let him talk even more. We can't understand half the shit you're saying.
Venom, who is your dialect coach, bro? Aubrey Plaza as Lady Death. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. I can see why in the comics Thanos was ready to just risk it all, dude. You know,
hey,
fuck, I'll kill all these motherfuckers for you. This is what Sony has done such an awful fucking job at. Matt Reeves is killing it with one show and one movie.
Right.
He didn't take villains and make them anti-heroes.
Right. Like Venom.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, no.
Yeah. All of a sudden he's the hero and shit. Like he's more of a hero
and a comedic villain.
He's fucking hysterical. All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
What up, man? Good morning.
What's up, bro?
Dude, it's beautiful outside.
Yeah.
The leaves are like that bright red. Well, the whole spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little chilly, a little windy, but it's beautiful outside.
It was in the cool, crisp 30s this morning, you know, like 39-ish. You know?
But still rocking the shorts.
Absolutely,
give that up. Yeah, throw like a little long sleeve over something.
Yep.
Put it in the car so it's available. Outside of that, dude, rocking the shorts until the snow hits.
Dude, I'm loving these drives. Just, you know, the leaves all nice and orange. And a lot of orange this year.
Yeah.
You know, it's really
it's cool.
It is, dude. It's right in time for Halloween.
Right.
You know?
But, you know, it sounds pretty, and it is.
Yeah.
But you guys, wherever you are, stay there, because we don't need the crowd.
You know, it's horrible. Don't come up here at all. No, there's nothing for you. Anyways, Adrian, dude, we had a lot of new viewers over the past few weeks, so I thought I would throw a curveball at you, you know?
Okay.
So I was going to start with a little true or false for our new viewers. I got 5 things I'm going to just spit out to you real quick, and you let me know if these statements are true or false, okay?
All right.
So, number 1, this is Only Comics, where we discuss comics and only comics.
False.
Okay. Number 2, we are not experts.
True. Absolutely.
Number 3, I will probably go on a yapathon at some point in this show.
It's already started. True.
So that's true. If you have thin skin, this is the perfect show for you.
False.
And last but not least, Only Comics is the best comic book show in the world.
Absolutely.
And it's a show, Adrian. It's not a podcast anymore.
Fun with Mike and Adrian.
There you go. It has evolved.
It has evolved.
So, well, there you have it. That's true or false. So if you're brand new with us, buckle up. That's what you're in store for. And I think, Adrian, you got those perfect. 5 for 5, dude. If we were in school, you would have got like 100 plus like one of those gold stars on your paper.
Right,
dude.
right.
Yeah. But we're not.
Just give me college fund money. I don't care about the stars.
No, God, let's not get crazy. You get stickers and shit.
Right.
So, anyways, a lot of news this week, a lot of stuff to talk about.
Cool.
You know, we had said something a few weeks ago, and this is funny. This is when, you know, when your hate out there backfires, okay? So we had made some comments about John Turturro, who I love as an actor,
Sure.
by the way. But I was like, dude, it didn't make sense to me that he wasn't in the Penguin.
Right.
And I called it out, and I just made some jokes, like, dude, what the fuck else is he doing, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you don't understand, he's doing this show, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I believe to my core something was off, why he wasn't there. So John Turturro comes out, and what he said, now this is going to confuse you a lot more, because you've seen the Batman.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did he respond to you, or
was something else
directly
to me?
Just making sure.
Yeah, I'm reading actually the DMs from Only Comics TikTok page.
Oh, gotcha.
No, definitely not. But he comes out and he said this. Well, now, first of all, you've seen the Batman. We talk about it a lot. John Turturro plays Carmine Falcone. He's not pretty good villain, right? A good villain, if that's a thing.
Sure.
We see him choke the shit, try to kill Selena Kyle at one point.
Yeah.
We also learn that he was the one who killed Selena Kyle's mother, right? So we learned about all that. He runs the club, you know, the 44 Below, with basically, they don't confirm, but they're all pretty much escorts, right? So, you know, he's a great stand-up guy, right? Guy you'd want to, you know, bring your kids to school and maybe take your wife shopping. Right. Probably not, though.
Wait a minute. Didn't we find out in the show, The Penguin, that he also killed his wife?
Absolutely.
Strangling.
Yep.
And also, like, went through a bunch of women in the club, killed them by strangling them?
Yep.
Okay, so, yeah, stand-up guy.
Stand-up guy. So, but here's the thing. So, John Turturro played that version who killed Selena's mom and tried to kill Selena, right? So, would you consider that violence towards women?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So that's just where it's funny because they asked him about why he didn't reprise the role, and he says because the HBO series features a lot of violence towards women, and that's not my thing.
Well, I'm assuming he's saying that he doesn't want to be the actor portrayed as the person that's always choking out women.
Okay.
Because there can be some kickback to an actor where they play a role and then people, for whatever reason, think that the movies and the real world is the same world, right? Mm-hmm. And they see Turturro on the street and they start calling him like a woman killer, a wife beater, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure.
It could be something along those lines,
or it could be that he's full of shit, like a lot of people in the world are. Okay. Now they asked the showrunner Lauren LaFranc. So it's funny too. The showrunner's a female, and there is a lot of violence towards women. So no one has an issue with that, though.
Right.
But so they asked her about his comments. So she goes, I completely respect an actor who doesn't want to take on a role for whatever their personal reasons. I only want people to join our show who are excited and want to further the story, blah, blah, blah. She says, I think Mark Strong did a fantastic job. I agree with that.
Sure.
He made the character his own and really honored what John Turturro did. I think that's a good assessment. But then she goes, to my knowledge, it was due to scheduling conflicts. And then she goes on to say that Carmine in the movie killed Selena Kyle's mother, which we just confirmed, also tries to actively kill Selena and also kills Annika, Selena's friend. Forgot about that.
Right.
He killed her. We heard the recording.
Right.
I think it's been established, and Matt and I are in agreement on this, that Carmine's a very violent man and has a violent streak against women. So it's kind of like, dude, you've known this. Mm-hmm. But I guess his point was this, and I want your opinion on this. He says that the violence is scarier.
Who is he?
Sorry, John Turturro.
Okay.
He says that the violence is actually scarier when it happens off screen.
Unless you go and choking out people, how would you know that
exactly
the violence is scarier off screen?
Right. Like, so he's saying if we like in the Penguin where they tell the story of him killing all these people, that's scarier than seeing him actually choke the shit out of someone. I don't think so.
That's bullshit.
100%.
I mean, if he had what's legitimate is a scheduling conflict.
Correct.
If you can't be in two places at one time. Mm-hmm. I mean, most regular folk can't be in two places at one time. So if you have something that you're shooting over here and you can't do this part, then just say that, dude.
Correct.
Don't come up with because now you got to start lying to cover the lies that you lied about.
Right. Now it just looks stupid.
Right.
Like it's much easier to go because it almost sounds like in a way he's trying to take a slight shot at either Mark, who took his role over, or the show in general, like, oh, violence towards women, that's not my thing. Like, you just say you were busy filming your show, which a lot of the people who follow us confirm that he's in some show. I think it's called Severance, and they say it's a really good show. Maybe it is.
Or, I mean, again, devil's advocate, he could have accepted the role, played that part, right, and then read into the character, which he should have done before, right? I mean, this guy's a serial killer, serial strangler, right? He should have kind of known that. It's like, well, I'm going to play Superman role, but I don't know that he has X-ray vision or super hearing or microvision or can fly or I can lift a planet, or, all these other things. I just like the suit. So he could have taken on the role not knowing the extent of the character, which is his fault. Yeah. But he could have just admitted that as well.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, I didn't know this guy was this violent when I took on this role. And I'm deciding that I don't want to perpetuate this, and I'm just stepping down.
Correct.
Simple.
I think that's much eeasier to understand. Like, I get that. Hey, you signed up for this, and and also when he signed up for this, I don't think there were plans for a show. This is a new development, right? So he signed up for this, and he realized, his role, he was killed in that movie. So it's like, all right, I'm going to choke one chick. They're going to say I killed someone else. Then I'm dead. I'm done.
Right.
Now, like, hey, reprise this. We want you to do more of that. So, yeah, to your point, maybe he at first was okay, but he's like, dude, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to be known because he's done a lot of different roles. Right. So I would, and he's not, and again, people got upset last time. He's not an A-list guy. So when you hear his name, I don't think one role sticks out.
Right.
But like this role for Colin Farrell is really going to define him.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to be known as
the
Oz,
Penguin,
Oz, whatever, Oswald. But I think John Turturro, maybe he didn't want this role to define him because of the amount of violence. So, but to your point, just come out and say that.
Exactly. I mean, nobody's gonna. I mean, he played in multiple Transformer movies. Yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna, call him out as being like an alien person, whatever.
He's an alienator.
He should have just said, "Listen, dude, I don't like this. I don't like this arc.
Yeah,
I don't like where this is going, and I don't want to pour my acting into this thing.
Correct.
I'm moving on.
So you know what? We're gonna play good cop here. I'm gonna fall. And I'm gonna, I'm just gonna say maybe it was a little poor communication on his part, and maybe he just had a change of heart, and maybe it was that he saw the arc of the character. It was like, you know what? I don't want to go there from an actor standpoint. Maybe.
Well, poor communication is if he would have came out and ultimately said that.
Right.
Not, well, I had a scheduling conflict.
Correct. Yep. So he's a liar. Not only is he not an A-list actor, not only is he not in The Penguin, he's also a liar. But I still love John Turturro. He's a great actor.
Love is a strong word.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on. One thing I do love, dude, is, and we're going to talk about this later, so don't go anywhere. The Penguin. Penguin show. But that we're not going to get into the episode right now, but there's a new rumor that hit the interwebs this past week, Adrian. The interwebs, dude. The Batman Part 2 is something that is probably got a lot more eyes on it now after this show, right? There's one key character from the Penguin that's rumored to have a big role in the Batman 2, and that is Sofia, not really Falcone anymore. Giagante,
right.
Rumored to play a big role in the Batman Part 2. This is probably one of my favorite rumors I've heard in a long time. Right. I would love to see some Batman-Sophia interaction.
Oh, yeah.
Sophia and Selina interaction.
Yeah.
Because technically they're related, right?
Yeah.
And they do have that that commonality where, I almost said Turturro, Falcone killed both of their mothers.
Right.
Yeah, dude, I can't be more excited for this. And I also, I would assume that also means that the Penguin is going to have a bigger role because you're not going to dedicate a whole show to this character and not have him be more prominent in the movie, I would assume.
Right.
So that's not the rumor. That's my own thought. And now the franchise has been labeled the Batman Epic Crime Saga. When I first heard that, I was like, that sounds kind of stupid. Mm-hmm. But after watching this show, it's pretty fitting.
Right.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but I think it's pretty fitting, dude.
It's definitely epic.
It is epic, dude.
And there's a little crime
a little bit here and there. And it seems like a saga, But dude, how do you feel about Sofia Giagante being a big part of the Batman 2? Prominent role.
Well, I would love to see her in it. I don't know about prominent because I think what they're doing is they're adapting her rising fame in the show to the Batman, which I think is kind of a mistake because she wasn't really a prominent role in Batman's life in the comics.
Sure.
So I think they're pivoting, kind of like they pivoted away from Kang to Dr. Doom due to evolving things. Now, that was a negative. This is a positive.
Right.
But I still think they're pivoting.
Okay.
So, I mean, prominent, not so much. I'm not so excited to hear, but definitely have her involved, included.
Yeah.
I'm all with it.
Got it. Yeah, dude. I mean, it looks like she's shaping up. Well, she essentially is the head of the family now.
Right.
So I think she's going to maybe play that role that Carmine Falcone played, opposite Batman in the past, running the criminal. And I think, prominent role doesn't mean majority of screen time. Mm-hmm. It just means that a big threat. Like, the Joker in Dark Knight, if you add up all the minutes he's actually on screen, it's a small percentage of the time. Mm-hmm. They're just impactful moments, So I hope it's something like that. Like, I don't want to see her in every fucking scene.
Right.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but
right.
But from a story standpoint, but I just let's make her a moment, and she's just a phenomenal actress. Like, I saw a video of her, and it goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago about how you need to stop letting non-comic book fans basically steer these comic book movies.
Right.
She has been a Batman fan since age 7 and has always wanted to play a Batman villain.
Right.
Like, it's been a goal of hers. Mm-hmm. Well, and obviously it makes sense of why she's so good at it.
Right.
Like Matt Reeves, Batman fan.
Right.
We talking about the Russos, huge Marvel fans, and look what their product. So,
you know, as an aside on that, what's interesting is that if these two come together, these two being Sophia and Selena, right? So over the years, one of the things that, especially when it comes to like black families, they'll just put like people that put people together. That's a family. They look nothing alike.
Right.
It's like, dude, who chose these people, right? Yep. But it's interesting that if Selena and Sophia look enough alike that you could actually say, well, a white dude had a child with an Italian dude had a child with an Italian woman, had Sophia, and the same guy had a child with a black woman and had Selena, and you put them side by side. I mean, you could almost make that work. They're both slim. Right. They're both smaller. The eyes, the features, the intensity. I mean, I think it'd be great to have them on film at the same time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're both phenomenal actresses. Like, I mean, what's her name?
Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz did a great job as Selena. Which were, that is...
You're using these words like great and love. Great, good.
Good?
Yeah.
No, definitely. Dude, I'm breathing positivity into the world today, Adrian.
Well, good is positive.
It is. Yeah,
great,
but that's like...
It's a stretch.
Oh, dude, I think great, dude.
Okay.
I love that movie, dude. I almost wore the Batman shirt today,
All right, dude.
Almost. It's took me so hard not to.
I know it's going to be over the top when you actually show up in a Batmobile.
I mean, it's pretty close, dude. My car, a little more black on my car. There it is, dude.
There you go.
There it is. But
put a jet turbine exhaust in the back of your Charger.
We gotta figure out how to do that. Right. Yes, definitely.
That'd be hot.
But the Selena Kyle, this take on Selena Kyle feels very year one-ish, like from that comic, which actually there's a review for that dropping. I don't know why I'm looking at the light, like they can see me in the light. Like, see, I said we weren't experts. I wasn't lying.
All right.
There's a review. I did a video on that comic that's dropping this Wednesday on why it is the ultimate Batman origin story, but not perfect. But that version of Selena, I think, draws heavy on that year one comic. So if you read that, let me know if you feel the same way. But yeah, I would love to see some interaction between the two of those. Right. So yeah, I'm all for it, dude. Sophia playing a big role, Penguin playing a big role. I mean, if not, this show's kind of not a waste, but it's like, why build these characters up so big to not have them like? And this is what Sony has done such an awful fucking job at. Like, dude, Matt Reeves is killing it with one show and one movie.
Right.
He's building these villains, and what I love about this is he didn't take villains. I said I love it again. He didn't take villains and make them anti-heroes.
Right.
Like Oz
Venom.
It's
like, dude, no. Yeah.
All of a sudden he's the hero and shit. Like, he's more of a hero.
And a comedic villain.
He's fucking hysterical. Like, dude, Sophia, now the one you're rooting for more out of anyone is Sophia because she got fucked over. Right. But she's leaning into that, like, and then Oz, I mean, I like the character, but dude, he's a piece of shit.
Right. I think what we're going to see is there's been so much concentration on the superhero, for the past 50, 60, 80 years. Yeah. I think we're going to see a rise of the villains as relatable characters. Correct. Not just people that show, the bank alarm goes off, here's a villain, and then Spider-Man swoops in, and then he's gone, right? Yep. No, I think they are building a library of these love-hate relationship type villains, right? That people are going to be like, well, I don't want to fuck Batman. I want to see Penguin, that kind of thing.
But they're bad enough so that you do want to see Batman come in and say, you like, give me a real reason to be like, dude, Batman needs to come get this motherfucker, right? Not like, they're stealing. Like, to your point, they robbed the bank again. Who gives a shit,
right?
But like, and we'll get into this more later in the Penguin review, but seeing how messed up his relationship with his mom is, and then the stuff he's gone through, you can understand why he's such a bad guy. Right. Still doesn't make it right, but at least you understand it. It's almost like the Thanos thing. You get why Thanos wants to do what he wants to do. Right. Doesn't mean it's the right thing, but part of you's like, I kind of see it.
Hold on Thanos, right? Yep. He wanted to knock myself out. The reason that he did what he did, right? He's wipe out 50% of the population of the universe, right?
Yep.
Well, there's an entity that goes around devouring, and I don't know the whole story. Somebody definitely fact check what I'm about to say. But there was this entity going around, and they would destroy the entire universe due to overpopulation.
Yep.
So his goal was to, besides the resource thing, was to just, instead of everybody, the whole multiverse being wiped out, he was going to wipe out at least half the population so that this other entity would stay clear. So the option was we keep half or everything goes.
Right.
So there's also a part or writing that included that.
Okay.
So it wasn't just he was going around, he just wanted to get rid of 50% of the population because he wanted to. It was like he was going to get 50%, get rid of 50%, because if not, then the whole population would have been gone.
Right, right. But then a lot of our comic nerds go, well, you got the gauntlet. Couldn't you just, couldn't you do the opposite and stop this? Maybe you could stop that from happening. Right. Maybe you could double the resources, But he's Thanos. So there's that, you're like, okay, so maybe this is just an excuse for you to kill everyone. Right. Like, part of you wants to kill everyone.
Sure.
But you're using it, dude, I'm doing it to help. It's like a politician almost,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
No, I'm doing this to help everyone. Like, no, but you're doing it to help some people.
Right.
And in that process, other people get fucked over or, in this case, killed.
Yeah.
But they're doing a great job of showing you why they're villains, right? But I believe it's going to end with I would assume it would end with the viewers wanting Batman to step in.
Right.
Like, it's going to get to that point where, all right, y'all have done too much. Fucking Battinson, let's go.
Right.
Fire up the Batmobile and fuck these motherfuckers up. But that's how it should be. It shouldn't end with oh man, Penguin's such a great guy.
Right.
Like they've done with, all of the Spider-Man villains. We're going to see it again with Kraven. I mean, I think that movie will be good.
Yeah.
But they're going to go the anti-hero route.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Kraven's going to be a guy you're rooting for.
Well, you're going to be rooting for him only because there's no superhero
exactly.
to root for against him.
Correct. Venom. What was that? Moving on, Adrian. Agatha. So we're talking about the show a little bit later. Wanda, who I've said several times, one of my favorite MCU characters. They did a really great job with her. I love Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal. Scarlet Witch we were talking about this a few weeks ago about she's probably the most powerful entity in the MCU.
Right.
Now, someone mentioned on YouTube Loki, with him holding the multiverse together, and could he possibly be the most powerful? And I hear that.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, it's kind of like the super intellect or the genius level intellect. We got acting, versus labeled, right? So you got a Reed Richards, a Tony Stark, T'Challa's sister. They are acting genius level intellects. But then you got I don't know if Kingpin was ever labeled as genius level intellect, but he might be labeled, but not in acting genius level intellect, right?
Right.
So I see that as Wanda is a acting superpower, whereas Loki is a labeled. Because to be honest, Loki's here, Wanda's here. Loki isn't even. It's like, would you pay attention to an ant? Moving a crumb across the street.
Right.
Loki is not going to look down, and he don't give a shit what Wanda's doing.
Nope.
Because she's nowhere at his level.
Correct.
So he's labeled this superpower being. Sure, he's not going around swirling clouds and moving boulders and dropping stadiums on people.
He's just holding the entire multiverse together.
Exactly.
That's all. It's light work. Dude.
Right.
He's just hanging back, holding the fucking. He's probably bored now. Dude. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has been.
Need to send a Deadpool up in there. Kick him in the ankles or something.
That would be hysterical.
Cut one of those timelines.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What you doing?
Yeah. If that happens, we want to check. That's all. That's all. You don't even need to talk to us. Just send the shit in the mail.
Yep.
Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda, Adrian, is rumored. First of all, we announced this a few weeks back. There's a rumor of a Scarlet Witch movie. We have seen in Agatha that a lot of the plot does revolve around Wanda. I think the deeper we get into the show, the more it feels tied to WandaVision. Right. Early on, I'm like, what the fuck is this? The Vision show is rumored to start filming next year.
Okay.
So the rumor right now is in Wanda's movie, the Scarlet Witch movie, she'll be facing her old friend Agatha. So Agatha would be the nemesis, which makes sense, natural progression from this show. I would assume it's going to end with Agatha getting her powers back and probably doing something pretty fucked up to Wanda's son. I would just assume.
Yeah.
You know, now if that happens, just another check, just ching ching. We gotta get that ching, that little sound effect, dude. But I mean, based off how they're building up Agatha, I think this is natural progression. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
How about you? You don't seem as happy.
Well, unlike Sony Pictures, Sony movies, right? They throw Wanda's name around in this movie a lot, a lot. It's like every time I wake up while I'm watching it, I hear Wanda's name, right? Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to it when we get to that part. So
yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
See that, dude? That's how we hook you. You know, we let you in behind the scenes. Gamora actor Zoe Zaldana. Gamora, we talked about her on Hit or Miscast a few weeks back, so check that episode if you have. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Don't quote me on that, though. But Hit or Miscast, we talked about Zoe playing Gamora, both big fans.
Right.
She had said something recently, and I think she's being a little hard on herself. She said that she looks back, you know, at her portrayal of this character. She says, "I wish I could go back and reshoot what Gamora was going through in the Avengers movies. I don't think I was quite understanding what the Russos were doing. I wish I could go back and redo so I could push a little harder. It would be a great opportunity to play a daughter having issues with a dad." So kind of like in hindsight, and then I respect it because I get I guess being hard on yourself.
Right.
But I think she did a great job at portraying that. Did you feel like, do you agree with her that she should, could have went back and changed it, or you think she did a great job?
I mean, hindsight is always a thing with people. I mean, you always, you don't always, but
you should.
You kind of look back on some things that you've done, and you want to go back and improve on them, make them better, change them, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, well, you can't.
Right.
But she did a well enough role to where it was like, she didn't quite hit that. No, there was none of that.
Right. Yeah.
So I understand you want to improve your craft. And a moving picture is something that, you obviously can look back, replay, and say, well, I could have done better there. Well, the idea is that, well, you can't go back and redo it, but you can take those moments and then put it into your next acting thing.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So what I'm saying, she'll get her chance to do it. Not in that particular movie, but you will definitely see improvements, tweaks and things that she do moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kicking it with Lioness.
Dude, I keep seeing those previews. Have you checked it out?
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
What's the premise? What's it based on?
Basically, you have this this faction, not a faction. You have this three-letter organization in the government where they use female operatives to get next to the criminals around the world.
Okay.
That they want. That's why they call it Lioness.
Got it.
They use female operatives to get close to the people, typically men or other women, to find out where they are, to position them so that they can come in and either execute them or pick them up.
Got it.
So she's the head of this organization. She identifies, she trains, and she puts into the field. And she also executes the plan, right? She creates the plan, and she executes and oversees the plan while this operative is in the field.
Got it.
And so they train them to do anything, whatever it takes in order to get close to find out where a person will be so that they can execute or pick them up.
Got it.
And she also has to pull a trigger on killing the operative if she's compromised or in a position like the first episode was. This female operative, they found out who she was because of a tattoo. She she went into like a real ethnic, like let's say Islam, right?
Yeah.
Community, posing as this person, but she failed to mention that she had this tattoo like under her arm or something. And so another woman saw that and knew that if you were this person, you wouldn't defile your body.
Got it.
So suddenly she's on his radar, but she's like in this castle like house, whatever. And she had to, the person that they was going to get was there.
Yeah.
But they also took her out too.
Damn.
So because they couldn't get her out fast enough. She tried to get her out, but in the end, she had to
press
so
that she's
button.
Okay with violence towards women in acting.
Clearly.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I'll check that thing out.
Yeah, dude. It's a
What's it on? What streaming?
Dude, I
one of them.
It's one of them. Just look up just look up Lioness. Oh, you don't have Apple TV, so just look up Lioness, and it'll tell you where it's playing.
Yeah. You know what they need to do? Just take all these little streaming services and combine them into one, and give us one flat fee.
Oh well, one flat fee. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but you can go to one place and find these shows.
Yeah.
But you don't have an Apple TV, so can't do that.
Damn, shots fired, dude. You know what? I'm gonna write about you on TikTok, dude. You watch. All right, moving on. I'm definitely not. Spider-Man 4. This is a movie that we've not heard a lot about. We've heard some rumors. Tom Holland in the beginning was kind of like, I'll come back as long as they have good ideas. Like, he's like, you better get enough to get me out of my house type shit, right? There's been all kinds of, I shouldn't say there hasn't been rumors. There has been a handful. There's been rumors about Marvel going in a more grounded path for this movie. Rumors about Kingpin playing a big piece, that the villain opposite Spider-Man in this. Then there was rumors that Sony wanted to go multiverse again. There was rumors that Andrew Garfield and Tobey would all come back. The most recent rumor I heard is probably the one I like the most. This movie is going to be released in between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. So the most recent rumor I heard was that this movie would take place in Battleworld. Which I think would be a nice change. Like, dude, I love Spider-Man. We've seen a lot of between the Tobey, between the Garfield, between, Tom Holland. We've seen a lot of Spider-Man doing typical Spider-Man shit.
Right.
I'm cool with it if the story makes sense, but this is an opportunity to see something really, really different with a character that we all have kind of grown with over the past, almost 10 years now.
Right.
So Tom Holland, who typically spoils shit, he spoiled a ton of Avengers stuff back in the day. He didn't spoil anything here, but they asked him about this movie. He says that, number one, it's now feels strong enough to go ahead and start shooting. But he says the idea is crazy. It's a little different to anything we've done before, but I think the fans are going to really respond to it. So he doesn't really tell us anything outside of it being kind of crazy, which makes me, now if I take all these rumors, it's not crazy to have a grounded story. It's not crazy to have a multiverse story. We've already had it. The one that kind of sounds the most crazy to me would be the Battle World, because that is something that is different than anything they've done before.
Right.
So maybe he's confirming that, but assuming he is, or actually if you had your pick, grounded, multiverse, Battle World, what would you want to see?
With Spider-Man specifically?
Yeah, with this movie, Spider-Man 4.
I want to see him get the symbiote, so I'm going to say Battle World.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Yeah, I think it's time for Tom Holland.
Yeah.
It really is. And now that we've seen, one upside about the Venom, I think, is the way the symbiote looks on screen. Like, they've done a good job of bringing that to life.
Okay.
So now they have that ability to do that. I would love to see that now with Spider-Man.
So do you think that little, and we'll get into it, where he threw the coin on the table and they caught it in that vial. You think that'll end up on Battle World? Because that would be I don't want to spoil it, but we'll get into it. But that would be the only piece of Venom that.
No, they scooped it up. Remember, they scooped it up in the little tube, and that's what one of the other scientists used to turn into the symbiote. So it's not there anymore.
What do you mean? Yeah, they scooped it up in the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But that's not the piece that.
That's not the little piece she had in the.
No.
Okay.
That was a whole nother.
Got it. Well, obviously, I could not keep track of all the fucking nonsense that was happening in this movie. So,
but we'll get into it.
All right. So you're saying that the one with the coin is still.
It's missing.
Yeah.
Because anyway, we'll get into it.
All right. There you have it. Obviously, I didn't pay attention to the movie, but that's a lie. But most of it, I struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sleep involved.
There definitely was.
Pee, whatever.
Yep. Tom Holland also says he is delighted about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Dr. Doom and is excited about sharing screen time with him. Which there was another rumor where they said that in Avengers Doomsday that they were going to have a pretty close dynamic, his Spider-Man and his Doom, which will be different because, it's always Doom and Reed in the comics. Not always, but most of the time.
I think that'll be a mistake because then that makes Doom's never really had an interaction with Spider-Man like an Iron Man and Spider-Man, right?
Right.
Well, if you do that, now you're kind of like straddling that fence of Robert Downey Jr. being Doom and Tony Stark.
Right.
You know? So I think that's a mistake, dude.
Damn. Well, this is what he says about the script. He says, I read it 3 weeks ago. It really lit a fire in me. And he said that Zendaya and I sat down, read it together, and we at times were like bouncing around the living room. So is that good? They're bouncing around the living room.
Sure.
Yeah, you think there's truth to this? He's just trying to hype it up, dude. He's trying to sell it to us.
I listen, I think a lot of actors make mistakes when they have nothing else going on or they think they got something going on. Like this chick from Ridiculousness.
Yep.
She left to go do her thing. That move was ridiculous. And what I'm seeing of her show is just as.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, just stay put. And there's this, you get to a point where, this is the other part of Olsen Comics.
Yep.
And I'm just rambling.
Stuff.
But
yeah, it happens.
It just stay put where you are. And I know that opportunities will come and go, and you can't just sit on one thing forever.
Yep.
But if people are asking you to keep playing this role that you're like famous worldwide with, just keep playing it.
Right.
And then you'll naturally move into something else. Don't do some harebrained bullshit and then just go off, and then all of a sudden you've also lost that opportunity as well.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, we like Tom Holland because of how he portrays these characters. I'm not really interested in your take on if it's a good movie or not.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, the script looks good. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You should be saying, I am a puppet.
Yep.
The Russo brothers is the puppeteer.
Right.
Right. And I'm here to be molded into whatever they want me to be on screen.
Because obviously, Adrian, if actors were really great at judging a movie's quality based off the script, we wouldn't have things like Madam Web. We wouldn't have things like Morbius. We wouldn't have things like the Captain Marvel. Right. We wouldn't have Secret Invasion if they read the script and realized this is going to be dog shit.
Right.
I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's one of the greatest actors in history, and he didn't know that show was going to be dog shit.
Right.
So.
Right. And then, as you mature, you get more movies under your belt and you want to, reverse things and then get behind the camera. Hey, go for it. But while you're in the camera, shut the fuck up.
Dude, it's kind of like, when people that have millions of dollars tell you who they're they're voting for.
Right.
Dude, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, you're a billionaire. I'm going to vote. We don't have the same problems, dude.
Right.
I don't care. Like, I hate that. You know what the best thing about this time of year, dude? The election's coming up, and then we don't have to hear any more of that bullshit for 4 more years.
A year and a half.
Yeah, true.
The presidency is only for 2 years, really.
Right.
Because the last 2 years is on the wagon, not on the wagon, but on the re-election trail.
Right.
So that shit starts all over again, dude. You literally got a year and a half before you're gonna see this again. And then in between that, you got the Senate, you got the mayoral races, you got the congressmen.
Bunch of bullshit.
Dude, it's constant. It's constant.
Yep. But no, Beyonce, I don't care who you're voting for. It doesn't matter. Anyway, She-Hulk, dude. Everyone's favorite show, She-Hulk. So Tatiana Maslany, I think Tatiana Maslany, maybe. I'm probably screwing that up. But anyway, she's funny, dude. She got some jokes. So she came out and said that it was talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And this is all this is where you need a disclaimer. This is all sarcasm. Sometimes I say stuff on here and people think I'm serious. I'm probably not most of the time, actually. But she says...
You are seriously sarcastic.
There you go. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, dude. You're fucking on it today.
All right, that's it. That's what I do.
I'm looking forward to hitting Gem later, dude. So, I was in Deadpool and Wolverine, she says. I had 2 scenes in it, and Ryan Reynolds fired me from the show because he said I don't like those scenes. Now I'm suing Disney. I always talk about how much I hate Wolverine and Deadpool. I talk about it all the time. I also wish I'd just sit down and stop pushing my feminist agenda, and just realized that Deadpool and Wolverine made a lot of money. She-Hulk only made $3. That's why they were getting rid of me, because I had this woke agenda and I really wanted to bring it into the movie. Now she's just like being a complete fool here. But I think that's hysterical, dude.
Right.
I mean, that's actually, that joke is better than She-Hulk. You know?
Right. That's true.
So the only reason I brought that up is obviously Tatiana's watching the show.
Right.
Because we have talked about the stupidity around people being, pretending like someone's forcing this woke agenda. And what the hell does woke even mean? Oh, you're not white, you're not straight, like whatever. So she's watching the show, dude. She must be a big fan. That's it, dude. So that's the only reason I brought that up. So
she's a big fan because she's not doing anything else? I mean, does she have scheduling conflicts?
Yes, yeah. No, you know what? They're working on She-Hulk season 2. No, they're not.
Oh,
they're definitely not.
I almost grabbed my cup. Barf bag.
Yeah. Vision. So the Vision show. They dropped a little spoiler here. So Vision's supposed to be the third show in almost this trilogy of shows. You got WandaVision, you got Agatha, you got Vision.
Right.
Paul, I think it's Bettany maybe, plays Vision.
Mm-hmm.
We also know that James Spader is going to return as Ultron in this show. There's Tommy and Billy. These are the kids that Wanda created.
Right.
Her and Vision. Now, we've seen Billy in Agatha. We don't know where the hell Tommy's at. So there's a rumor that Tommy might be showing up in the Vision show, which I guess, natural progression would make sense. Because I would assume that there's a Wanda movie, Vision's going to be in it, right? Maybe Ultron now. Billy and Tommy are going to be in it. So this kind of would be that final piece to that puzzle. So I'm hoping that's, I'm for it. We got Billy. Why not? Let's get Tommy over here in the Vision show. But I think that Vision, Ultron, those two characters, there's a lot left to be done with those, because we only really seen them, and we talked about Age of Ultron probably a month ago and how that movie's kind of underrated, I think, right? But I'm looking forward to this Vision show, dude. How about you?
I hope it's better than Agatha. I hope it's on par with WandaVision.
Yep.
It would be a serious letdown if it wasn't. Because I'm struggling.
Yeah? With
Agatha, dude. Struggling.
Damn. Well, that's a little preview to what's to come later. So Deadpool Wolverine, movie we talked a lot about here, right? There's a funny scene where they're driving to their kind of final battle, and Blade says something along the lines of like, "There only be one Blade," right? And Deadpool looks at the camera like, now you don't know, his look could be like, damn, there's only gonna be one Blade, or shit, somebody ain't tell this dude they're making another Blade.
Right.
Well, be careful what you say, you may speak it into existence. So there's a rumor that Blade has been delayed indefinitely by Marvel, the new Blade. Now, there's also another rumor that Kevin Feige has turned his attention to fast-tracking a Midnight Suns project, which Blade would be a part of, but there would be no Blade movie. So do you think this has anything to do with how the fans responded to seeing Wesley Snipes back as Blade? Do you think maybe now Marvel's kind of getting cold feet about doing a different Blade with how well he was received in Deadpool Wolverine, or?
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they pivoted on Kang. They pivoted on with Sophia. They're pivoting with Sophia.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of sucks for Marshala.
It does, yeah.
But, dude, who knows?
Midnight Suns is something I've not read much. Like all I know is they're like a more of a horror occult type of group, right? There's different lineups, but Ghost Rider, Blade, Morbius, Doctor Strange, even Werewolf by Night has been a member. So we have Werewolf by Night in the MCU. We had that one little one-off, which I don't know if you knew this, but they dropped a color version because the original one was black and white.
Right.
I haven't watched it yet, but actually I didn't dislike that show. You weren't a fan of it.
Nah. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna have like, you know, Blade, Ghost Rider, and everybody else in color, and then whenever you see Werewolf by Night, it's gonna be like a black and white strip or something. Come on, dude.
Dude, I'm Midnight Suns. I'm intrigued. I think they could do something pretty cool with that. They're leaning into the horror stuff with some of this. You know, it's kind of like PG horror with the Agatha stuff. But, dude, I'm for it. Why not?
Sure. I mean, if they can do what because everybody's paying attention now. They paid attention with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
And they're paying attention with the Penguin. If you can do that with the Penguin, you can make some amazing stuff.
Yeah,
you know, regardless of, you know, who the characters are.
Right.
So I'm not surprised by anything at this point.
Nope. And then last thing, dude, we got a little sneak peek at Spider-Man Noir. New live action show with your boy Nick Cage playing that version of Spider-Man.
Right,
dude. The suit's on point, bro. You seen this?
Yeah. I love the lighting.
Yeah.
From the pictures that I've seen.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely. Is this an animated thing or
no? It's live action.
So it's kind of like what's that movie?
Sin City?
Yeah, Sin City.
It looks like it could be something, you know, just now. And I don't know if the whole movie's going to be black and white, which this is where it would make sense. Every time we've seen this Spider-Man in, you know, Across the Spider-Verse, almost like you were saying about Werewolf by Night.
Right.
This Spider-Man's in black and white, and everyone else is in color. So I wouldn't mind. This is where it would make sense, Zack Snyder, to do a black and white show.
Right.
Like, I'd be okay with it here.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Different take on Spider-Man, and it's a character that we've seen a little bit, you know, in the anime or in the Across the Spider-Verse, but we never saw him in his own element, and that's what I think we're going to see here.
I'm just trying to envision Nick Cage as Spider-Man, as a Spider-Man. I mean, but he's more like a detective.
Yeah, it's a complete different take on him.
The Noir is more like a detective take as opposed to a costume superhero take.
Correct.
So I guess he can pull it off.
Yeah. Boy, Nick, I mean, I'd rather see that than him play fucking Superman with long hair.
Right. Well, he would have to have long hair. And the funny thing about it is that as he's flying, one of his superpowers would be that the hair would curl around to cover his forehead.
Dude, that's a hell of a superpower.
Hey, there you go.
That is fucking amazing.
You're doing Mach 20 and your hair defies the laws of gravity and the laws of physics and curls around and cover your 8 head. So
it creates like an aerodynamic fin almost.
There you go.
Moving on. Adrian, we like to wrap up news and rumors with a little thumbs up, thumbs down. So I'm going to recap this wonderful news we got this week, and we'll let you know if it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. So starting with number one, my boy, John Turturro claims that the reason he did not reprise the role of Carmine Falcone is because he is against violence against women in shows. But he's okay with it in movies, pretty much. So I give this a thumbs down, dude. The hypocrisy is...
Thumbs down, thumbs down.
I say my hypocrisy knows no bounds. This motherfucker's hypocrisy really knows no bounds. Yeah, I don't want to choke him in the show, but I'll choke the shit out of him in a movie. Next up, the Batman Part 2 reportedly is going to feature Sofia Falcone and Oz in prominent roles. I give this a thumbs up.
Definitely thumbs up.
Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda, rumored to have a Scarlet Witch movie on the horizon and will be facing her former best friend / nemesis, Agatha. Give this a thumbs up.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Zoe Zaldana says that her biggest Avengers regret, she wishes she can go back and redo some of the scenes to bring more emotion out and show her conflict with her father. But I guess a thumbs down. I think that it was great, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give it a thumbs up because what she is saying is that I could have improved upon my acting in that, even though it wasn't anything noticeably bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a thumbs up because what that means to me is that she's continuously trying to hone her craft.
Got it. Okay, I respect that, but still thumbs down. Spider-Man 4 star Tom Holland says the movie is crazy, Adrian, and it's different than anything that we've done before. So, if that's true, I give it a thumbs up. I like crazy, I like different.
I give it a thumbs up because he's excited about something he's doing.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. You know, enjoy, love your job,
Absolutely.
Or Get out of it.
Exactly. That's the worst, too. Like, oh, this movie sucks so bad. I can't believe they made me do that. Like, that was what people were saying about Todd Phillips. WB forced him to make the movie. All right, dude. Unless James Gunn is on set with a fucking gun to your head, can somebody force you to make a movie?
No. Especially since it takes probably a year and a half to do it.
Like, what's he standing there the whole time?
Right. At some point, you got to be like, this kind of sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. You decided you wanted the paycheck, so and you did the movie. Exactly. So you couldn't. Maybe they, as you know, in The Godfather, maybe they made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Right.
But I don't think he was forced.
But speaking of making money and making the movies, dude, who's funding? You go to Tubi, dude.
Yeah.
It's a bazillion movies. Made just in 2024 alone. Who's funding all these stupid movies, dude? I mean, there's so much of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have strong marketing. When you say, a movie makes a certain amount of money and it doesn't cover the true cost of the movie because the market they didn't account for the marketing. There's got to be a lot of marketing to get your stuff to bubble up above all of this craziness. There's but who's funding this stuff? Where is the money? You got people, you got veterans, dying on the street, but we funding this, movie that looked like it was shot with a razor phone or something. Come on, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, that's my rant.
Damn. I go on Yapathons. Adrian goes on rants. It's one thing that you will get here every week on Only Comics. We'll not let you down. She-Hulk's Tatiana Maslany jokes that she was fired from Deadpool and Wolverine for her woke agenda, and she's suing Disney. Dude, it's just on brand for our show, so I give this thumbs up.
Definitely a thumbs up.
You know what, Tatiana? You should come on our show.
Is that true, though? She actually got fired from Deadpool?
No, it's just talking shit.
That's even funnier.
So this is an invite. Tatiana, come join us on the show.
That's right.
Your comedy is on brand for Only Comics.
Right, and it would definitely be better than She-Hulk.
Damn. Vision's supposed co-lead dropped a little spoiler, and it does sound like that we will meet the other young Avenger known as Speed, which is Tommy Maximoff in that show. I give that a thumbs up. Dude, bring the whole family in,
Yeah.
Another piece of news. We saw a sneak peek at the Spider-Man Noir costume in the live-action series starring your boy Nick Cage, the best Superman of all time.
Sure.
I give this a thumbs up, dude. Shit looks official.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks good.
And then last piece of news, be careful what you speak into existence, Wesley Snipes, because you said that there will only be one Blade, and it sounds like that's going to be the case for a while. Blade has been infinitely or indefinitely delayed at Marvel Studios. Wow. But Kevin Feige may be fast-tracking a Midnight Suns project. So it's we're going to do this. I give the first piece of that, a thumbs down that it's because I'd like to see Marshall Ali's, take on Blade. But I give that a thumbs down. But the Midnight Suns project, I give that a thumbs up.
I really don't care which one of them plays it. I would just like to see, Blade resurface.
Yeah.
Thumbs down on that.
Okay. All right, thumbs down. Well, there you have it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know if you agree with us. If you don't, we're going to be really upset. No, we really don't give a fuck, honestly. And that's what's great is, there were some comments this past week on TikTok where people are like, dude, I never agree with anything you say, but I love your content. Like, you shouldn't have to agree with someone to enjoy what they have to say. It's a fun show.
He never agrees but loves the show. Sounds like someone that needs a madam in a dungeon.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
But we welcome it, do you? We don't need you to agree with everything. We're here for this.
But he likes the abuse, apparently.
He likes it. Some people do. Some people do. And we are here for it. We will definitely provide the abuse. Moving on. Hit or miss cast, Adrian.
Let's do it.
This is where I'm going to ask you your take on 5 casting choices from the past. So, number 1, speaking of the lovely show called She-Hulk, how'd you feel about Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk?
Miss.
Damn. And this is apropos The Rock as Black Adam.
Hit.
Yeah, I like that shirt, dude.
Yep.
And that is the Rock's likeness. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. But they couldn't make it look exactly because then they'd have to pay The Rock.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's change his face just enough.
Right.
Michael Kelly as Johnny Vitti.
Hit.
Okay. Leslie Uggams as Blind Al.
Hit.
Aubrey Plaza as Lady Death.
Hit.
Rio / Lady Death. There you go. So across the board, I'm going to flip to. I actually thought Tatiana Maslany was a hit as She-Hulk. Yeah. I actually like She-Hulk more than most people, believe it or not, Adrian. I think it was better than Secret Invasion.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even really fair. I mean, Madam Web was better than Secret Invasion.
Ooh, I got it.
Well, not really. Not really.
Yeah, that one's tough.
But the bar was like real. It was kind of like bad, and then it just the ending was just shit. It's just nonsense. The math didn't work out. Now you got this, God walking around on the streets in baggy jeans.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So it was bad, but no. The fact. So I'll say this. The fact that there has not been another She-Hulk before her, I would say a hit, only because there's no other comparison.
Okay.
But I still don't. She doesn't really quite fit the Jennifer that I would envision being this kind of lawyer.
Got it.
That would then be She-Hulk.
Okay. Michael Kelly as Johnny V. I almost said miss, but no, it's very different from the comic portrayal. If you remember, Johnny V was the fat guy with the bowl cut, when he was killed in the bathtub in Long Halloween. But I think he did a great job of making me despise that character in this show. So we'll get to that a little bit later. The Rock is Black Adam, dude, massive hit. There's a lot of people out there that are highly confused about that Black Adam movie, and we're not two of them. So, and Leslie Uggams, dude, I want to see her interact with Daredevil. Matt Murdock. They're both blind. They both do a good job of playing blind people. Someone even said in the comments, like, dude, it's weird seeing Charlie Cox like in real life, like doing other shit, because like you think he's blind, because he's so good. But I read that he actually spent some time around. I don't know if it was children, but like around people who were blind, like to really figure out. Yeah, like I mean, he's obviously a great actor, but and it shows because he does. You do feel like that.
I like to see Blind Al interact with the shop owner from Venom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See them
Mrs. Chen.
Yeah, get together and chop it up.
Yep. You like her, do you? You want to see her with everyone.
It's just
She's entertaining.
Funny. It is entertaining. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if she would have got one of the Venoms, the symbiote.
You actually predicted that or wanted that. It was a what was it? Educated wish of yours.
Educated wish.
There you go. And then Aubrey Plaza as Lady Death. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I can see why in the comics Thanos was ready to just risk it all, dude.
Hey.
Fuck, I'll kill all these motherfuckers for you. Shit. Lady Death looks like that. But anyways. That is hit or miss cast. Moving on to a little what the fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Is still your favorite name for a segment on our show?
Absolutely.
Believe it or not, there's a Venom theme this week.
Okay.
And this is actually great. You didn't plan on watching this movie. They just sucked you in, huh?
I just got sucked into it.
You're just walking through the mall, and next thing you know, you're front row or fucking Venom 3, you and three other people.
Yep, that's it. And we were all clustered together. We were all in the center of it was like a stadium seating, right? And we were all like right here in the middle watching the movie. I'm like, dude, you got the whole theater.
Right.
Why you got to sit like right in front of me?
All 8 people sat
all
together.
8 people.
Yeah, yep, that's great. So believe it or not, it's a Venom theme. What the fuck, Rotten Tomatoes? So or critics versus audience. So we have a lot of nicknames around here. Like I think the real name for the show, honestly, is Fun with Mike and Adrian.
What we need to figure out is remember what we call these people that are like dicks for the week.
I think it's Busters.
No, it was something else. We started with that.
Yep. Okay.
But it definitely morphed into something else.
Right.
But anyway.
I got to go back and find it. It's definitely in the old videos. But anyway, Venom. So the first Venom, these are Rotten Tomatoes scores. So if you've not been with us in the past, this is where we look at the critic score and the audience score for a movie. And we let you know if we had to pick one out of the two, which one we'd fall with. We're not saying we agree with the score, just we're putting ourselves in a little bit of a pickle here, Adrian.
Right.
We're giving minimum amount of choices here. So Venom 1, the first Venom. Critics gave it a massive 30%, and the audience gave it an 80%.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go with either one of those numbers. I look at Venom like Peacemaker, dude.
Okay.
It was entertaining enough Matter of fact, my wife wants to watch, so she was the one that pulled me into 3. But now she wants to watch 1 and 2.
Okay.
Because it was entertaining enough.
Yep.
Definitely not an Avengers movie.
Oh, God, no.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Shit, no.
But it was definitely not a 30.
Like if the Avengers were on crack and that drug that they have in the Penguin, then that would be the Venom movie.
I don't even think it was be that low still.
Okay.
So
you got to pick one, though. Who's closer, critics versus audience? 30 or 80?
30 or 80. I'd have to go with the critics because it definitely wasn't an 80.
Okay.
I mean, I put some movies around 80, and it definitely was not that.
Because of how the rules are made here, Adrian, I'm going to have to go with the audience. I think it's closer to where I think the true score of that movie is closer to the 80 than it is to the 30. Next up, Venom 2. Critics gave it a 57. Audience gave it an 84.
Critics.
I go with the critics all day. 57 is probably what I would give that movie, honestly.
Right.
I think they hit it spot on. Venom 3. Critics gave it a 37. Audience gave it a 79.
I go with the audience.
I go with the critics on this one.
Yeah.
And then the last but not least, this is not a Venom movie, but the first time we saw Venom in live action.
Wait a minute. 3?
Venom 3. Yeah. When you just saw yesterday.
Yeah.
37.
Yeah, I'm still.
All right, you go in the audience. Okay. Yeah. Spider-Man 3, where we first saw Venom in live action. Critics gave that movie a 63. Audience gave it a 51. That's your boy dancing emo Toby,
right.
Emo Peter.
What were the numbers?
63 and 51.
I go with the 63.
I think so, too. I think that movie is highly underrated. It's not great, but it's okay-ish.
Exactly.
Speaking of okay-ish, Agatha All Along. So we are, how many fucking episodes of this thing? This is 6?
6 or 7, I think.
You are not is it safe to say you're not a fan of this show?
No.
At all?
I am not.
Okay.
I am such not a fan of it. I actually watched all of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And didn't like it. And I'm struggling to watch all of Agatha.
Got it. I'm not as down on it as you. I don't think it's that bad. I thought it got a little silly. I think it was maybe episode 4. A little too much singing, a little down the witch's road. I've fucking heard enough of that shit.
Right.
Even though people pointed out, like, they only sang it like twice. Like, it was 2 times too many. Okay.
Right.
And what's up with the singing? Why do we have to have a song in the Venom movie?
Dude, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
What all of a sudden, like, whatever. Never mind.
They only did it twice, but they played the LP versions of those songs.
Yes.
I mean, the extended version.
Right.
Full 14 minutes. Yep. Dude. It's like, come on, really?
37-minute episode, 9 minutes is the song. Great. And 10 minutes of credits. This episode kind of brings us back into real time because episode 6, there were flashbacks. Right. We find out that, don't get nervous, Billy's gay. Oh, my God, everyone's going to turn gay. And then we see, like, how this kid Billy becomes Billy Maximoff, the whole spell, all that shit. So that all gets explained in this episode. I mean, really, I like the whole them being trapped in this mansion with the swords dropping. Right. Like, it kind of, like, made a little real, a little high risk here. And then we see all the witches come back together. And we learn a lot about, what's her name, Delilah, her whole backstory. So from that aspect, it's pretty cool. I mean, really the biggest thing, though, for me was the Rio being, and I think for a lot of people, being the personification of death, like right. Lady Death. And dude, that look, that visual was really fucking cool.
Yeah. I will give you that. It was that.
Yeah.
But dude, outside of that, I felt like I was in a 90s R&B concert, dude, with all the costume changes and shit. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't.
The little memory lapse thing back and forth got a little tired, Again, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. It was cool. But it really seems like the past couple episodes, it's that end that's the big piece. It's, kind of starts you up, a little bit of nonsense, and then pretty good ending. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes. There's 2 more left.
I mean, I can struggle through those.
Yeah, he made it this far.
Right.
I guess the good news is they're not long episodes typically. So by the time you remove the credits and the recap, you fucking 10 minutes and the episode's done.
Exactly.
So
exactly. And even though I like the actress that plays Agatha, I don't like her as Agatha.
Really?
No, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I thought she would. I mean, because based off of the little bit that she did in WandaVision, you know, yeah. But to see the extended version of her, I'm not feeling it, dude.
And I think,
matter of fact, I'm thinking about not even watching Bad Mama this year.
Damn,
it's crazy.
You have to put Bad Mama on the shelf for Agatha. Shit, dude. I think, like, I hear what you're saying, and I think it's because we've not really seen Agatha yet. Like, she's powerless, and this whole trial thing is the majority of the show, which I get, but and maybe it's just a setup for the next show in the movie, and maybe in the movie we'll see real Agatha Harkness, but we've not seen full-blown Agatha Harkness yet. We've seen this depowered version who's spending every damn episode either singing or trying to get her powers back.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe these next 2 episodes we'll see more of that. I think one of the good things about this is I don't really know where we're going. There's been shows where I'm like, dude, this is going to happen in the next episode. And that's how I, earned the moniker, He Who Was Right, Adrian. Right. This one, I fucking don't know, dude.
Dude, of course you don't know. I mean, with all the costume changes, you're confused. Sure.
They're going to come dressed up as us next week. You watch.
That's it.
That'd be some shit. Do they pull out the Only Comics hat?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. One day. But yeah, I mean, this episode wasn't bad. I'd probably middle of the road with a strong ending is how I would describe it. You, not so much.
I mean, it's a convenient way to get rid of the 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cool, though. The only part about it was that, it was cool that she was able to, she realized that, she was the focus. She's flipped the card. The room turned over.
That was cool.
Yeah. So outside of that, I was, I saw it as I was recovering from the costume changes.
It's weird. For a short episode, it seemed pretty drawn out.
Right.
Like, it's like how many times, and I get what the story they're telling us, but like it just, I think the ending was strong. The middle was a little dull.
Yeah.
But here we are. Moving on to better things, Adrian. The Penguin. So last week we talked about that episode being probably the best episode of the show.
Right.
And dude, this one's right up there too.
I agree. Especially the ending.
Yes. Especially the ending. Why'd you like the ending? So we'll do this backwards. What'd you like about the ending so much?
Because it put Penguin in his palace. It put Penguin in the place that we all know where he came from. Basically, subterranean Gotham.
Correct.
And it was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
The way, little math issue with the generator being, it's closed for 20 years.
Yeah, it's just red.
The gas still works and all this kind of stuff. But outside of that, very cool.
Dude, if I don't fire up my lawnmower once every 3 months, that motherfucker don't start. But this generator, dude, Gotham got some good generators, I guess.
Right.
Shit.
They got evil and darkness and very good generators.
But yeah, that I do like that because it's almost like you see him go from Oz to the Penguin,
right?
Or at least the genesis of that.
Yes,
we need him to take over because in the comics, dude, Penguin's a boss, bro.
Right.
He ain't no low level driver.
Right.
The Penguin we're used to, and I think sometimes we get people get confused because of the whole him looking like a penguin. He's just some joke, dude. He's a freaking mob boss in the comics.
Yeah.
Like he took over, got rid of all the other motherfuckers, and he's the guy at the top.
Yeah.
And his base, the Iceberg Lounge is usually something like that, like his base headquarters, not just a club. So it was really cool to see that.
I'm actually partially more interested in seeing. I'm not more interesting. I would be excited to see how his lair evolves.
Yes.
Right. As much as I am interested in seeing him evolve.
Yeah, at first I'm like, bro, you keep going any further, you're asking to end up in the Batcave.
Right.
Like it looks a lot like,
Right. Or at least, the first generation of the Batcave,
Yeah. But in the Batman, remember, his shit's like an underground old railroad.
Right.
Underneath Wayne Tower or whatever.
Yep,
Like, dude, it look like he's like fucking next door to him and shit. They're going to be roommates.
That's it.
That was a big piece. My favorite scene from this show, from this episode, was when Sophia takes over.
Oh my God!
She's in the room. She gets the coat,
right,
and then she finds her mom's last name, Giagante.
Yep.
And the freaking doctor who actually kind of fucked her over, but then left because he felt guilty.
Well, fucked her over is her perspective.
Yeah.
You know, he
was complicit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
He stood by and let the shit happen. He maybe wasn't an active participant, but motherfucker was. It's like, you know, all these cops are beating this one dude. One guy's just doing this. He ain't stopping it either.
Right.
It's kind of like what she was doing, or he was doing. But anyway, he's trying to make it up to her now. He told her like, "Yo, I'm here with you. Whatever you want. Like, want to be by your side in this."
Right.
And she used Johnny Vitti.
I was wondering why she saved him, and she didn't save him. You know, from the gassing, she didn't save him so that she could help her with her endeavors, which he did, but not the way that you would think that he would, right? His only purpose was to get the men together, validate her, and then that was it.
Pass the baton.
Done.
Dude.
You're done.
Yep. She used him because when Luca died, now Vitti is the head of the family.
Right.
So he's in charge. So she manipulated or not manipulate him. He had no choice because she would have just killed him anyways. But that was a perfect setup, dude. She comes out with that big mink coat, right? Like just looking like a boss. Shows up to the table. Fucking Vitti calls them all around and because here's why it's my favorite scene in this episode and one of them in the shows so far. Vitti's a douche. The whole family, bunch of fucking assholes.
Dude, I mean, she untied you. Right then and there, you should have just overpowered her and, like, took her out. But you didn't. But you understood that you're really just a lackey.
Correct.
You know, you're the underboss. You know, the errand boy, go get my Pepsi kind of a guy.
It's the ultimate... This is why, even though Sophia's a villain, you can root for her a little bit because it's the ultimate revenge story. Like, her family fucked her over, starting with her dad. You know, and then everyone else stood by and either allowed it or participated. They all signed affidavits saying she's crazy.
That's crazy.
And even early on when Vitti was like threatening Sophia to go to Italy or you're gonna die, pretty much. So I've always had like, Vitti, you're a bitch.
Right.
And this scene, dude. Like, she's talking and she starts saying how, you know, she's trashing her father.
Right.
She opens up with, I gassed the family.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, shit.
That was balls right there. I love that part.
Yep. You know, when Deadpool is like, you know, get your sock nerds, it's going to get good.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's going to get good. Yep. Right. She starts off with that, and then she's just like, basically says, my dad's a piece of shit. We will not talk about his ass anymore. Right. And then when Vitti's like, whoa. Bro, she just fucking looks at him, blasts his ass, and I'm like, good for you, John Vitti. Fuck you, Johnny Vitti. That was great. The whole time, dude, once Vitti was in the show and I realized he was an asshole, I'm like, I hope he gets... I was actually hoping the show ended with him being shot and killed in the bathtub, like Long Halloween, and then introducing the holiday killer. That'd be pretty cool. But this was even better because Sophia got her revenge. And it also, if you remember early on, when Oz pinned the knife on that one dude, and it wasn't even his fault, but Sophia was mad because she wasn't the one that got to kill him. I think she got her her revenge right here.
Oh, absolutely.
Popped his ass, blood all over the table, dumps the money and like, right in the blood too. Like, dude, nice little pun there, blood money, huh?
Exactly. And the soldiers, they didn't care, dude. It was like, the guy reached forward. He looks up. Miss Giagante, take the money, and they just start scrambling. That was because they are soldiers, right, and they are there to make money. And she's right. Falcone probably screwed them over all these years. You know, do the killing, do all this stuff, and I'm gonna pay you a pittance. And now this woman is like, so not only I'm telling you I'm gonna pay you more because everything. She's actually at this point truth to them. Yes. My father was a piece of shit. Yes, I killed my entire family. You saw me just blast the now boss. He's gone. Right. So and I'm giving you a pot of money. So when I tell you that I'm going to pay you better, she's truth at that point.
Correct.
So that was a stunning. I mean, you want to say 4 was the best, but scenes like that, dude.
I don't know. It's like, now we're like, right here. Right here. Those are 2 of the best episodes of the whole show. And dude, if we keep getting better every episode, and I mean, by the time you're seeing this, the episode 6, Gold Summit, has already dropped. So we'll be talking about that next week. It's so many things. We went backwards here. So going back to earlier in the show, Oz, when he negotiates the deal with the Maronis to give them their son back.
Dude, again, another scene.
Yes.
Another scene.
Like, maybe I'm stupid. I didn't, when, the dude was dripping, I didn't, in the beginning, think it was gasoline.
Yeah, I thought because... And the reason why is because Sophia was throwing water on Vidi,
right?
To keep him cold in the basement. So your mind didn't switch,
right?
You just see some liquid dripping, right?
Dude, I thought they stopped at P Diddy's house and he just got covered in baby oil.
Well, I didn't think it was baby oil.
Okay, I think I'm getting too much P Diddy stuff in my feed, dude. I thought they baby oiled that motherfucker. I was like, oh shit, bro, we're gonna see debut of the Diddler. Right. We're gonna see him, but we didn't. So. But, dude, that was sick, bro.
Yeah.
He lets him go and then sets his ass on fire. His mom gets caught on fire. And
was that a contingency plan? Or, do you think he would have did that regardless, or did he do it because they set he got set up?
I think that there was like a 99% chance he would have done it. Right. But, yes, I do think it was a contingency. Like, I'm going to cover this motherfucker in gas because he knows the Maronis. And it's like, dude, if y'all even look sideways, he's going up in flames.
Right.
And sure as shit, that's what happened, dude.
That was awesome scene.
He just sat there and watched them.
Yeah. And that look, again, dude.
Yes.
That look, them eyes and the way he like slops his mouth. Just fantastic acting, dude.
Yep.
Just fantastic acting. Here we go. Using big words again.
Oh, look at that.
Fantastic.
See?
But
I knew you had it in you, Adrian.
That's appropriate, though. That's appropriate.
Okay. And, dude, just the coldness when he's on the phone with Maroni and Maroni's talking shit because he ordered the hit on Maroni and the guy fucked it up, right? And then he goes, "Hey, call your wife." Like, oh damn, dude, that's cold. Yeah. That's cold.
Yeah, but it's also cold that the wife, how she just opened her flap talking about her, him killing her brother. I'm like, what? Why'd you do that, dude?
Exactly.
I definitely would have held that over his head for a minute. Yeah. But no, you got to just open your mouth. So this is what opening your mouth does.
Exactly. So be careful what you say, especially you guys out there talking shit on TikTok and YouTube. But yeah, great point. Yep. Shit. Open mouth, dude. This is what happens. This is what. Be careful what you say. Don't. What do they say? Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash.
That's it.
Well, that's what happened right there. You couldn't cash
exactly
that shit. Happened. Your ass went up in flames, bro.
Right. I'm wondering how they're gonna figure out that the mushroom thing though. It's the only one that's ever because as soon as that fire extinguisher thing goes off, he just went batshit. Right. The shroom, because that's the whole reason that they were there. Right. To get the shrooms.
Correct.
And then the majority of them, except for like 2 buckets, and that's also why he went back to the lair. That was going to be his lair. Right. Dark.
Oh yeah, they can grow the mushrooms down there.
They can grow the mushrooms down there.
Yep. Yeah, dude, all in all, great episode. Also, the stuff with the mom.
Yeah.
So
that's going to turn into a whole thing too, because the guy saw them going in there.
Right.
So that's going to be, I think that's going to turn out to be something like an epic diversion in the plot.
Like, dude, what if this dude does some shit to his, because right now the mom's there and these two are down, playing in the sewers.
Exactly.
So yeah, maybe the guy does some fucked up shit to his mom. Maybe the guy kills his mom.
I can't even imagine based on what this dude's done so far. Dude. I couldn't even imagine what he would do to his mom.
Yep.
I mean,
and then you see how messed up she is, the way she treats him, and but it makes sense. It's like why he's such an asshole.
Right.
Well, look who raised him.
Right.
Like, I would have just left her there, yo. Peace out.
Right. I mean, you're there trying to comfort her, and she's talking about how shitty of a place that you put me in. Yep. Don't touch me. Get off. I mean, that's some psychological.
Be careful what you ask for. Don't touch you. Don't call me. I'm going to play in the sewer with the turtles, bro. I was waiting for Ninja Turtles to pop up somewhere too. Give me some of those vibes, but yeah, dude. All in all, great episode. I'm looking forward to tonight's because yes, we are recording on Sunday. In case you didn't know. And then 2 more episodes. It's just good time to be a comic book fan, Adrian.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I mean, even though like you're not huge on Agatha, it seems to be doing pretty well. Last episode got over 4 million views, so there's definitely. They also, I think someone pointed this out early on that you and I are probably not the main demographic for that show,
right? Which
makes sense. Sure. I don't dislike it. It's not like my favorite show. I definitely like the Penguin more. Right. But dude, a lot of good stuff to be comic book fan, and it also. Going back to something we've said a while ago on this show, and this came up in comments recently on YouTube when someone pointed out, or they suggested that, there's just superhero movie fatigue again. And, like, there's definitely not, dude. There's just bad superhero movie fatigue.
Sure.
Because when I'm watching The Penguin, I'm not feeling superhero fatigued.
Right. When I'm watching WandaVision, there's none of that.
There's no
but
fatigue.
Agatha is not WandaVision.
Right.
So,
like, dude, when I'm watching Venom, I definitely felt fatigued. But that's bad superhero movie fatigue.
Right.
That movie felt like it should have came out in like 2005. Then people would have loved it more. But shit. So anyways, Penguin episode 6, that was, I believe. Can't even keep track, dude. It was, right? 5 or 6. I think it was 5. I think you're right. It was, yes, 5, Homecoming. Episode 6, Gold Summit. Episode 7's called Top Hat. Top Hat.
That's when I think that's what that sounds like when he comes out.
Are we gonna see like the Penguin in the Penguin get up, dude?
Hey, that'd be something. I'm thinking based on how this movie is flowing, some kind of a ball or gala.
Yeah,
you know.
And he's got the cane. He's got what's the thing called? The monocle.
Yep, the monocle.
Dude, that would be sick.
Yeah.
And then so Top Hat has. I mean, he's gonna wear a top hat. Right. A little penguin get up, and then the last episode, Great or Little Thing. So a little intriguing there, Adrian.
A little intriguing.
So I'd give this episode probably a solid 9, dude. 9.5. Man, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is.
Moving on to something that is not so great. Venom 3, The Last Dance. The Last thank God that is The Last Dance. Holy shit. Dude, I wanted to like this movie because I thought, you know, being the third one, it's going to be the last one. There's a good chance that it could be the best of the 3, right? I did not leave the theater feeling that way. Not at all. I would say that a lot of the fights, the action scenes look cool. You know, they were fun. Big, giant creatures beating the shit out of each other. Makes you know what I was thinking, though, midway through? This Venom character, the Tom Hardy version, got 3 fucking movies. We had the Edward Norton Hulk that got 1.
Right. Hey.
Like, dude, come on, dude. Someone said we want 3 of these motherfuckers.
Well, I think with the Edward Norton thing, that was his fault.
Yeah.
The way it sounds. You know, if you read, you know, what happened around it.
Sure. But we could have got some Mark Ruffalo movies before he became Smart Hulk, like just that character itself. But whatever. I mean, dude, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man only got 2 movies, and this dude's got 3. Holy shit! And
clearly, no improvement.
Yeah.
Over 10 years, or whatever it took. But apparently, in the movie, he's only been with the symbiote a year. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. A fucking long year. Holy shit.
Right.
Right off the gate, though, I felt like they were just throwing shit at us. Like, make it. It almost felt like, you know, in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, how this multiverse concept just got dumped in our lap, and they're making up rules as they go. There's this book. There's this creature. There's this new character. This is how you travel multiverse. Like, dude, it's been 4 minutes. Holy shit.
Right.
Like, give me some time, bro. That's what I felt like here. Like, there's this symbiote king. There's these other scientists. There's this whole layer of all this shit has been created, and like when the symbiote just fell into Earth like a year ago.
Right.
All these new characters I'm supposed to care about that I don't fucking know. All the ones from the other movies aren't in it anymore. Dude, I honestly, early on, I'm like, this is just a mess, dude.
Then it culminates into a horde of symbiotes. I mean, all of them got, you know, different stuff, which is, I mean, it's kind of cool to see considering what's going on in the movie.
Right.
But that was a lot.
It was just fast,
I think the star of the show was that monster thing.
That was cool.
That like doesn't really eat you, but just kind of like, you know, wood chips you through the back of his neck. But whatever.
That was cool. But yeah, you introduce all these symbiotes and half of them get eaten up by this guy.
Right.
Then there's all these scientists and nobody really cares about, and they're dying off, and it's supposed to be like an emotional thing. But I'm like, I just met this chick 2 minutes ago. Who cares?
Right.
But I will say,
well, they needed a bunch of scientists because they needed the symbiotes to attach to somebody. So that they can then die.
Yep.
You know?
It seemed like lazy writing, a lot of plot armor just kind of built in, like the whole Venom, Eddie, they're on the run. They show up to Vegas. They're trying to get to New York. They're down and out. And then, you know, Mrs. Chen over there is winning millions. And, hey, you can go get cleaned up in my room. And now we're dancing as Venom for some reason just so we can attract the big monster. Like, it just makes no sense, dude.
Right. And then, at the end, I mean, these monsters are getting reconstituted from, explosions and gunfire and airplane drops. But then, you got some toilet chemical get sprayed on them, and then they all dissolve.
Yep. And they just happen to have this giant, like, outdoor acid car wash. You know, let's just bring them over there. Like, what do they even have that for?
And if the Venoms were strong enough for Venom to encapsulate all of them and drag them over there, I mean, they could have did something else with them too.
Sure,
but whatever.
Who the hell knows? But I think it was a mess of a movie, dude. It was just an excuse to make another Venom movie. Now, I'm saying all that, it was entertaining.
Sure.
It was funny at times.
The hippie family come out of nowhere.
Sure.
And then come out of nowhere again to save the day. Right. That was nonsensical.
Yep. Dude, a lot of times, though, I'm like, bro, Venom, who is your dialect coach, bro? Because I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Again, like Love and Thunder, right? You got a movie that was decent. Mm-hmm. Again, I put this on a level with, I forgot it. Not Preacher. I want to say Preacher for whatever reason. But anyway, a movie that was doing okay, and people like it because it's funny. So let's put more funny stuff in.
Right.
Let's make the alien bad guy an anti-hero, make him funny, and then, let's let him talk even more. We can't understand half the shit you're saying, but we're going to let you talk some more. So this whole thing was it felt forced. Conveniently, the hippie family is only there to get in trouble, to have a reason to stop him mid-track. Right. It's like you rush into a building to save somebody you love. The building, instead of just grabbing them and running out, you want to sit there and talk about, I was really in love with you, and I wanted to be with you all of my life. Right. So let's have a 13-minute kiss while the whole world is gone. How about you just leave?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you wonder why you do get killed.
Correct.
Because you're sitting there hanging. That's what this movie felt like.
Yeah.
It was like conveniently drawn out for other things to happen. It just felt that way.
Right.
Now, I know that's how all the movies are made, but it just felt that way.
And I guess maybe we'll see this in the future, but what was the point in introducing Null when he didn't do shit?
Right. He did do something in the post credit. He threatened, to do all his stuff. So,
God, it's such an impact. Yeah. Now there is a rumor that he's going to show up in Spider-Man 4. I don't know how that would happen. If there's literally, they almost removed a lot of the connection from Spider-Man because he moves right back to his own universe, and in the beginning starts with, I'm done with this multiverse shit.
Right.
I guess where I hope this is not leading, I hope it's not leading to more Venom movies.
Right.
Just figure, as much dumb shit as you did in this movie to, save your little plot, figure out some dumbass way for Null to be transported into or maybe Battle World's where it is, right? And have that crossover. Because I don't want to see Venom fight Null.
No.
Not this damn Tom Hardy Eddie. I don't want to see that Eddie fight him. I want to see Tom Holland Spider-Man fight Null and get a symbiote that way.
Sure.
Fuck it at this point, you know. I would give this movie like 6 thumbs down, honestly. But I know, you know what though, honestly, you coined this phrase here, Adrian, badly entertaining.
Right.
And I would say that Venom 3 has also earned that name. So I would not, people ask, should we go see this or not? Someone actually asked me a few weeks ago, should I watch the Venom movie? I said, absolutely. Watch them once. Right. They're fun. Just don't expect to be blown away. Don't expect Infinity War moments or, they're fun.
Expect some She-Hulk moments, some Eternals moments. It's just, there.
Right. Ooh, Eternals and Venom. That's a tall, I don't know which one.
Right.
Yeah, is there any Venom movie in your opinion that's better than the Eternals?
All of them.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? We'll test that theory a little bit later. All right, moving on, Adrian. That's the Venom Last Dance. So I would, if you are asking out there, should I go see Venom 3? I would say wait till it hits streaming and then watch it.
Right.
And maybe have an adult beverage or something to kind of ease your mood, and maybe you'll enjoy it a little more.
I'm the opposite. I would say go see it.
Okay.
Because I want you to feel my pain as well. But no. How do you know a bad movie? Or how do you know a good movie?
You've seen bad ones.
Because you've seen bad ones. This is it's entertaining. It's definitely not great. But spending your own money to go see something that's disappointing has its own value. So I would say go see it. Do the whole, movie experience. Take your kids. You can take your kids with you. And then you'll feel bad about it, and you'll know what not to do in the future.
There you go. All right, there you have it. Moving on to We Respond, Adrian.
Oh,
this is one of my favorite segments.
I was going to say, this is becoming one of my favorite segments.
All right, yeah, you weren't big on this in the beginning. Now you're loving it.
Whatever,
you need to turn the corner, Naple Grove says, hi, guys. Another great episode of Fun with Mike and Adrian. So he's paying attention. He goes, question for the pod, he says, the pod. Watching Agatha All Along, I've been loving it. I think since episode 4, there's been no issues. With that in mind, I had no hopes I'd enjoy this. What is a movie or show that you guys thought, looks bad, but ended up enjoying it? It's a pretty good question.
The Miss Marvel.
Okay. So you thought you wouldn't like it.
Dude, you literally had to convince me to watch it.
Okay.
And then afterward, I was blown away.
Got it. Yeah, that I would definitely, I'd say the same. I didn't expect much out of that one. The other one, honestly, The Marvels. Now, it's not like my favorite movie, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. It wasn't perfect, but it was not a bad movie by any stretch.
I agree with that.
That's another one. I feel like a lot of times it's the opposite. Like Secret Invasion, I thought was going to be good.
Right.
That was a major fucking letdown.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not your question, Naple Grove, but I'm trying to think of what else, dude. I'm that maybe I was down. Is anything else sticks out to you? You were down on that?
Was the question down on or didn't expect?
Didn't expect it to be good. You thought it'd be bad, and it surprised you.
I thought, what's the one? Not Daredevil, not with the girl.
Oh, Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Okay.
I didn't. I was just watching it because it was part of that whole, Daredevil Netflix thing. But I started watching it. I'm like, this is great.
Got it.
So that show.
Okay. I would almost echo that with both of them. Not that I thought Daredevil was going to be bad, but if you've not noticed from watching us, that we are, let's just say our bar is pretty high. Right? Like, I think that's what causes a lot of like people, I can't believe you didn't like that. It's just that a movie that's a 5 out of 10 to me is a bad movie for me. Right. It's average, but it's like I don't want to watch average shit. Right. I want to watch the top of the top, right? So there's definitely times where I'm usually expecting it to be bad, and it is just kind of mid. And I don't really know where I was going with that, or I lost my train of thought. But anyways, but no, moving on to the next question here. We got JLC-Comics. He says, another great episode. Love the Hidden Gem segment and the way Adrian breaks down the character. Any chance you could do Frank Castle, the Punisher?
Absolutely.
There you go. Oh, and after that, I just remember where I was going.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't think Daredevil was as good, but everyone tells me everything's great.
Right.
It's the greatest thing ever. It's so good. And I've heard that, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. So I watched Daredevil thinking, like, it's probably going to be okay, but then I was completely blown away, and it's one of my favorite Marvel shows to date. So that's where I was going, a little backtrack there. It's like we time traveled. But Frank Castle, the Punisher, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Because he's not a super powered guy.
No.
You talk a lot of times about how, there's characters in these any comic book that are like the regular guy,
right?
Not the Supermans or the Phoenix and all these crazy, just like regular ass dudes or chicks that play a massive part, in a lot of stories. And I think Punisher's one of them.
Bruce Wayne's a regular dude.
Sure,
no superpowers, never strived to have any.
Nope.
He could have, even his. I mean, he has gear, but and he has his suit to basically for protection. It's a defense mechanism more than an offense tool. But outside of that, he's a regular guy, and he's honed his skill to the point where he's outside of the norm for a regular guy, but still regular guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's also the greatest superhero of all time, but that's just maybe a little biased. Maybe a little bit biased, Adrian.
Sounds a little biased.
It could be. But yeah, so Frank Castle, Punisher, dude, I'd be up for that hidden gem. That's a good one.
And the show was very good too.
I gotta watch that.
I think I was surprised by it. I was surprised by that.
Okay.
For me, because there's a few shows on like regular TV or streaming now. There was like a pivotal point for me. There was this show called Shield.
Yep.
With the guy that played Ben Grimm.
Okay.
And the Fantastic Four, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Dude, that show for the day.
Yeah.
That was like damn, really,
right.
Really. So that was a pivotal moment.
And you're talking The Shield, not Agents of Shield, the Marvel shit.
Right, The Shield.
Yeah.
There's also what was that show? The one that we was talking about on the docks. I think it was at HBO.
Boardwalk or something? Boardwalk Empire?
No, not that. It was like years ago before.
Okay.
Like they were in Philly or something. They had the gangs.
The Wire. Baltimore. Yep.
And then
that's a great show.
The one about, I think it was an HBO show where in Oz in prison.
Oz was good.
Oz was just like crazy.
Dude, Oz is a show that I think kicked off this this almost trend of HBO having some of the best shows.
Right.
Like you had Oz first. Now I really think that kind of carved the path for a show like The Sopranos because Oz was, dude, that was a violent fucking show.
Yeah, it was.
And then you see Sopranos where it balanced Oz was a show that took place 99% in jail.
Right.
So of course you're always going to see the worst shit. Now Sopranos walked that line of family life, work life, gangster life, but dude, the violence in that was off the charts. And then The Wire, same thing.
Right.
You saw the human side of it with the police and whatnot, but then you saw some shit, man.
Right. And then like on the non-violent side, another show that kind of set it for me was another show that set it for me on the non-violent side was I forget the name of it. I'll know it if I heard it, but it's like a show about lesbians.
Okay.
It was a great show outside of what it was. But then kind of more violent, Dexter.
Okay.
Things like there's a few shows.
Wait, the lesbian show didn't turn you into a lesbian?
No.
Damn.
I know.
You got to let everyone else know how to navigate that and not, have this shit. But no, I don't know what show that is. What was the last one you said after the lesbian show?
Dexter.
I tried watching like one episode. It seemed all right. I just wasn't in the mood for it and never
Actually, when I'm thinking about it, Dexter wasn't one of those shows that was like show changing. It was a good show.
Yeah.
A serial killer that kills serial killers.
Right.
But it wasn't The Wire. It wasn't Oz. It wasn't The Sopranos. Things like that.
Yeah. And Breaking Bad. I like Breaking Bad. I do think people kind of like they overhype it a little bit. I think it fell off a little bit with the last season.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was
it definitely did.
Like we just didn't need that season.
Right.
But,
just like we didn't need the last of Game of Thrones.
There you go. I don't think we need any of Game of Thrones. I'll tell you what I am looking forward to, and not that you guys asked, but The Last of Us season 2.
Yeah. The L Word. That was the one about the lesbians.
Got it. All right. Well, It Was Too Big to Be Called a Sword says that's a good name, dude. I don't know what the fuck it means, but that's a good name.
Right?
Well, if it's too big to be a sword, what would it be? I don't know.
Javelin?
Okay, all right. Maybe it's a javelin. You could just call yourself Javelin.
There you go.
He says, hey, guys, another Get show. I think he meant great show. Another great show with Mike and Adrian. I agree, always. Could you guys give us your top 3 or 5 pre-MCU comic book movies? So I had no thought. I'm just going to go off the cuff here. So this is before the MCU. So anything before Iron Man 1. Right. Top 3, I would go with Spider-Man 2 is one of my top. And he always said comic books, so not just Marvel. I would then go with probably number 2 would be maybe X2, and then The Dark Knight. There's my top 3 before MCU started.
I would say Dark Knight, Blade. I'll even throw in like the first Superman.
Okay. All right. A little OG is first Superman, Christopher Reeves. Yep. All right. Well, there you have it. This is how we do it, bro. Right off the top. No prep. With nothing, dude. No cheat sheet.
You don't have to come back next week.
No. So there you go. It was too big to be called a sword. Bro, man, Williams, bro, he's at it. He said, bro, y'all got me 2 weeks in a row. Now we got you 3 weeks in a row. He's sitting at work grinding parts. So, I mean, he's out there working, dude. He's working. Good shit, bro, man.
Hone that craft.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't know what parts you're grinding, but fucking grind the fuck out of them. I heard my name again, and y'all did Blue Marvel for us. So I just wanted to shout this out to you, Adrian. So he's basically thanking you for doing Blue Marvel. He said for me or us, and I think it's safe to say I'm an Only Comics regular now. Well, dude, welcome, bro, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Bro, you know, bro, man, may be the next God Mode. Where's God Mode, by the way, dude? God Mode, if you're out there, bro, drop us something. Dude.
He's out there doing godly things. I guess
so. He's busy. Stuntman 3872 says watching Charlie Cox when he's not playing Daredevil doesn't seem normal. I agree.
Right,
yeah, like it's just off. Like someone go help him. Like,
exactly.
Where's this cane?
Give him a cup or something. Put some coins in it.
Smurf in hell. Smurf in hell. Okay, wow, Smurf in hell. Mask or not, his voice is immediately going to give you, oh, it's Tony vibes, and I have no confidence he can be as intimidating as we need Doom to be. Oh my god. Now, actually, you know what? I'm gonna read two more, and we're gonna respond to all three of these folks here. Rebecca Cashin 85. So Rebecca 85 represent says, I think fans' issue is more they can't imagine him as anyone else. So when they think of it, they see Tony Stark as Doom, not RDJ as Doom. Okay, and then there's one more here. Drew 4139 says people need to get over it. RDJ is a great actor. He did great as Iron Man, and now I can't wait to see him as Dr. Doom, which I'm sure he's going to destroy that role. Drew's right. Rebecca, I see your point. And Smurf in hell, dude, you're highly fucking confused. I'm going to talk about this until we see this, and if I'm wrong, I will own it. But I think that people need to understand something. Robert Downey Jr. has played many roles that are not Iron Man.
Right.
Many actors. Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. He's played many roles, very similar roles, but in each of those roles, I don't know about you, I'm watching him in Shutter Island, and I'm not thinking about the kid from the Titanic.
Right.
And then in there, I'm not thinking about the kid from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And I'm not thinking about Jordan Belfort when I'm watching him in another fucking movie.
God damn, you like Leonardo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, he's got all these roles, dude, and I can separate all of them.
Sure.
So you mean to tell me that Robert Downey Jr. can't do the same thing?
What they want to do is encase him in a jar.
Yep.
Stick him on the shelf as Tony Stark, and he will never do anything else again.
Yep.
Come on.
Dude, it's like people are making up their mind like, I'm not going to see him as Dr. Doom. All right.
Don't. That saves seats for the people that want to see him.
Absolutely. Then all 8 of you won't be sitting near Adrian, you know?
Exactly.
Colin Farrell. If I didn't tell you that was Colin Farrell under those prosthetics, you would never know.
I did know.
Nope.
I did not know at all.
Oh, that's right. You didn't know in the Batman.
No, I did not.
You learned that right here on Only Comics.
Exactly.
Heath Ledger as the Joker. If you didn't know that was Heath Ledger, you wouldn't know that was Heath Ledger.
Exactly.
So I don't know. This may be a spoiler to some, but the reason why Dr. Doom, or one of the reasons why he wears that mask, is because his face is all fucked up.
Right.
So when they're not going to have Robert Downey Jr. in jet black hair with the little thin pointy goatee.
Right.
Like, first of all, he's like 15 years older.
Right.
He looks completely different. Mm-hmm. And Doom is disfigured.
Yes.
So that means that Robert Downey Jr. is going to have a disfigured look.
Right.
Penguin is disfigured. Mm-hmm. We saw the difference between Colin Farrell and Oz. Mm-hmm. I'd imagine there's going to be some level of prosthetics and makeup. He's an actor. He sounds like Tony Stark because he's playing Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. He's going to be able to change his voice. He's going to be able to portray a different character because he's a real fucking actor.
Right.
So, Smurf in hell, you're off base. Again, Rebecca Cashin, I hear what you're saying, but Drew's the one who gets it. People need to get over it. He's going to knock this thing out of the park, and he's going to be Dr. Doom. And if you're looking, like, he's going to wear the mask. People are like, they're not going to hire Robert Downey Jr. and stick him in a mask all that time. All right, there's a show called The Mandalorian. You ever seen this?
Yes.
Pedro Pascal plays The Mandalorian.
Never saw his face.
Never saw his face. There was one episode where he took his helmet off for a few minutes.
Right.
So, yes, they will hire someone at the caliber of Robert Downey Jr. and stick him in a mask.
Gamora was in costume the whole time.
Yeah.
Her sister was in costume the whole time.
Absolutely.
Drax was in costume the whole time.
Sure.
It happens.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Yep. So, no, they don't. He's such a big enough star, you don't need to see his face. They tell you he's in the movie, you're going to go see it.
Right.
You don't need to see it's. So first, maybe I'll read more Doom comics. Maybe watch more movies outside of just comic. People say to us sometimes, watch more movies outside of just comic movies.
Right.
And watch more of Robert Downey Jr.'s filmography.
Right.
And tell me if you see him in, what's that movie with the Zodiac Killer? I forget the night. Him and Mark Ruffalo are both in it.
Right.
And I don't see Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. I see whatever their characters are in that movie. Right. So, anyways, yeah, Drew, like Drew said, y'all need to get over it, dude. Listen to Drew. Drew knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Speaking of scars and makeup and shit, Sophia, I love the way they portray her they're subtle. They're less subtle than obviously the Penguin.
Correct.
But the neck scars and the scar on her left shoulder.
Yes, that's true. How she was just embracing it like, yeah, look, what's up? What you gonna do about it? I'll fucking blast you like Johnny Beatty. Ask him how that turned out for him. Johnny Beatty, asshole of the year. Virtual Reality Fitness 283. He says that, so we're all just supposed to forget Kang was the most powerful, killing an infinite amount of people. So my response to him was, Doom is more powerful, so why would it matter, right? Because they're like, oh, you used to walk away from Kang, and he says, Doom loses to Kang Prime all day, plus Doom just steals other powers. Now, he obviously does know nothing about Doom, but I pointed out the fact, Adrian, that we've talked about this here on the show. Doom is as good with the magic as Doctor Strange, maybe even better. There was a comic where Doctor Strange said that he was so good with magic that he could be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Right.
So Doom is not just stealing other people's powers.
Well, he does, but it's mostly not their powers; it's their technology. Because that enhances his stuff,
right? And
he's constantly learning. Well, first of all, Doom is automatically a genius, an acting genius level intellect, right?
Yep.
So he gets power. He steals texts from other people to enhance his stuff, but he's also constantly learning. I mean, he has a base of his mother was like a gypsy or something.
Yep.
So he has a base of that magic, and he continues to build on that,
right?
Hone the craft, right?
Yep.
Which he uses to enhance the tech side. So it's partial true. Kang, I think it depends on the variant too.
Yeah.
A variant of Doom. Kang is, I believe, more powerful just overall.
Okay.
Than Doom, but there are variants of Doom that are obviously more powerful than Kang.
Got it.
So two things, like you said, two things can be right.
Sure.
So I think that's where we are with that.
And I just think base Doom with his ability, with first of all his suit and everything that comes along with that, right, and his ability to use magic, I think would overpower Kang. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out on Agree to Disagree, Adrian.
Well, but the thing about it is Kang is technically is from the future.
Yeah.
Right. So by default, his technology should eclipse Doom's.
Okay.
Right. But Doom also has access to dimensions, and things like that. So I mean, but I think the real thing is that the real reason that this even came up is because the comment is about Doom replacing Kang.
Sure.
And it's not about Doom is more powerful than Kang to replace Kang.
Right.
It's that the studios had to pivot from Kang to someone that's equally or better than Kang, so they went with Doom, which is the appropriate pivot.
Absolutely. We were talking about Batman things without Batman and Spider-Man things without Spider-Man, the whole Venom thing, which I was wrong about. I said, I made an educated wish that Spider-Man would show up. I didn't see no Spider-Man in that shit.
No.
Unfortunately.
I was right.
Yeah, you were right. You were right, dude.
Are
you taking over the name?
No, dude. It's like what they say about clocks. With a dead,
broken clock
batteries.
Is right twice a day.
Exactly.
But we were talking about this, and we talked about how in Titans there was Bruce, and but not like a major Batman presence. But that I was okay with. But then we talked about shows like there's Pennyworth, there's Gotham Knights, there's all these other shows where there's no fucking Batman anywhere even reference to. So Saber DB72 says Bruce was in Titans. And the only reason I picked his comment out, dude, watch the whole fucking video. We know he was in Titans.
Right.
I love the people they're like comment teachers. They want to correct everything. Dude, we are not experts. There's going to be plenty of mistakes. So, Saber, we understand that. Shut the fuck up. Moving on. Nolan Smith. My man Nolan Smith is back, dude. He says, well, he's not back, but he's been around. He says, who would win that fight? When we were joking about Tom Hardy, how he says he wants his Venom to fight Batman. So who would win, Adrian? Batman versus Venom?
Well, which Venom? This Tom Hardy Venom?
Yeah, the Tom Hardy Venom. Yeah.
Again, if Batman and Venom met,
yeah,
again with prep Batman all day,
obviously,
right,
absolutely.
But if Batman and Venom met on the street corner, it would be Venom.
Okay, there you have it.
And it would be quick.
It would be, yeah. But with prep time, dude, it's a wrap, dude. Right. Batman would have one of them sound things because Venom can't deal with the sound,
right?
And he'd capture that freaking symbiote, put it in his little bat cave as a trophy, dude, right next to the giant T-Rex and the big coin. And he'd Alfred, give him some cold soup, call it a day. Beep, boop, aim. Beep, boop, aim. Oh, beep, boop, aim. I guess, whatever the hell that means. Says, yes, not every side character needs their own spinoff. Exactly. Just because we like a character doesn't mean we want to see an entire series about them. Echo. 100%. Dude. Right. Well, in Deadpool Wolverine, when Pyro starts, mouthing off,
right.
Wolverine knocks his ass out and is like, dude, not everybody gets a speech.
Right.
Like, that's same, yeah, not everyone needs a damn spinoff, dude. I agree. D. Coleman 85 says, I hope T'Challa comes back as a variant. If I'm wrong, correct me, but even his family was okay with them recasting. Yeah, his own brother said, right. Y'all should recast. His brother said that Chadwick Boseman would have wanted this character to be recasted and live on because of how important the character was to him.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's a major fumble. One of the worst mistakes Marvel has made. And granted, I don't expect them to be perfect. That's, people get I think they give them too much shit sometimes when they screw things up. Like, you're going to screw up 4 or 5 things to get 10 things right. Mm-hmm. But that's one of their biggest fumbles since the whole MCU.
Oh, absolutely. I think I've seen some things about, like, the first Black Panther coming out, New Rumble or something.
Yeah.
But it's not the T'Challa that everybody's accustomed to.
Right.
You can, your ancestors and all that other kind of stuff, but it's not T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Biggest mistake, dude.
More on the Robert Downey, Jonathan Majors kind of switcheroo. Tyrone 316 says, hell, Robert Downey was a menace. Yes, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He was like showed up in somebody's house and shit, sleeping in the kid's bed when he was like high one time, like crazy shit.
Right.
He got a second chance at Hollywood, so I'm not let Jonathan Majors get a second. So basically, why are they not letting John? Well, I think we kind of know why. It's a good possibility. But it's a great point. If Robert Downey got one, shit, dude, come on.
Right.
Now, was some time between it. So
yeah, I was going to say there was some time between it. All these antics.
So I guess,
And he had to struggle to get into the movies.
True.
It wasn't like he just showed up one day and was like, oh, RDJ, welcome back. And blah, blah. No, he had to, be represented. He had to be sponsored. The insurance companies wouldn't even pick him up.
True.
I mean, he had a hard road getting in.
Yeah. So I guess if Majors came back already, like that would be a lot quicker than Robert Downey Jr. So like
by years.
Exactly. So as much as I'm like on the whole, bring him, but give him a second chance. And it wasn't like, Robert Downey did all this shit and then next week they're like, bro, here's the Iron Man contract. Like it was a risk. It took years. And he had to make drastic changes in his personal life to even be considered. So, as much as I'm on the other side, I do see the difference there.
Right.
Now, Willie J's like, there's been a lot of rumors and history of abuse when he was in college, apparently. And I think Marvel should have done more background checks on him. Like, dude, first of all, there was no rumors or history of abuse until this came out.
Right.
So what does that mean? It means that it's probably just rumors. Or it means it could be true. Who the hell knows? But I'm also, at what point do we stop judging people for things they did in their past if they're not doing them continuously, if they're not doing them currently?
And also, when there's rumors and stuff like that, it typically means that it's somebody's perspective of actually what happened, right?
Yep.
Is a guy – anyway, I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, whatever they did, I'm sure they did their due diligence. And whatever they saw wasn't bad enough to prevent him from being an actor, right? Which he's acted in many movies and shows. And they selected him, then this thing came out. So I anticipate that, or I would expect that, Let some time go by, and we will see him again.
There you have it.
Just not as Kang.
Right. Art of Kind Forest says, why are there podcasts? I mean, not everyone's opinion needs to be heard. So, Art, guess what, bud? You don't have to fucking hear our opinion. You can scroll on past and go watch whatever other bullshit you normally watch.
Why are we even reading his name?
Because I just feel like it.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to take a jab.
Not everybody else's opinion need to be heard either.
True. Not everybody needs to make a comment. But guess what? Anybody can. Right. So you know what, Art? What you can do is kindly, respectfully, shut the fuck up. Anxiety Eater 8949 says, my daughter's favorite things to do is listen to your podcast every Monday before bed. Doing great work. And I responded to him, but I wanted to give him a shout out, dude. You're raising a great child. Okay, your daughter is awesome, dude. You know what? Your daughter is a lot smarter than Art of Kind Forest over here. But that's awesome, dude. We're making it, not even making just his Monday better, right. His daughter as well.
Hey, absolutely. That's what we are multi-generational.
We are, dude. We're the gift that keeps giving.
Multi-dimensional, multi-generational.
Correct. Yep. And there's awesome. Multi-assholes sometimes that chime in. But not Anxiety Eater here, man. So kudos to you, man. Shout out to your daughter. Kyandle00 says, I just want to say sorry for not watching your last few podcasts. My YouTube has been full of Diddy stuff, and a lot of my subscriptions ain't showing up on my feed. Well, Adrian, do you accept his apology?
I accept his apology.
Yeah, that's fine. Dude.
Just be proactive and just go back and watch all of them.
Exactly. Just go back and watch all of them. But we appreciate you chiming in. Yeah, so the Diddy stuff is out there, dude. It definitely is.
It is.
You got to dodge it.
Nauseating. Correct. Out there.
Yep. You got to dodge that shit, bro. You don't want that baby oil getting on you. The Battle Hammer's back, dude. He says, if I just went off how bad y'all do my Justice League, I'd never like you guys, LOL. But I'm here watching all your stuff. He gets it, dude.
Right.
And then you got RC Ralas here. Says, I disagree with both of y'all all the time, but I love your channel. And he says, and I
another
believe...
madam, another dungeon.
He's a masochist. He then says, I believe one of the 3 Spider-Men will show up or a new one. Well, you were wrong about I was with you in the first half. You were wrong on the second half of that. But that's a great point there, dude, where it's like, and that's, this is the other stuff. I think that's society's problem in general is most people can't accept another person having an opposite opinion of them without taking it personal.
Right. So that's another thing. If you go to public schools, they don't teach you. Besides, they don't teach you how to buy a house.
No.
How to use money, because that's the whole purpose of money. Money isn't money. You don't have money so you can put it under your mattress. Money is a tool to make other money so that you can create a comfortable life for you and your family. Right. They don't teach you how to be a husband or a wife, or they don't teach you anything that you need. They stuff you full of shit that you have to repeat and memorize to pass a test. The whole idea is to keep you as a drone so that you can make money for them. So they go to a different school, but they also don't teach you mental health. Correct. They don't teach you how to be in a room with somebody that has a different opinion, and you guys do what? Discuss it. Not snap a pool stick in half and go at it with each other, right?
Yep.
Learn how to they actually have debate teams, but that's like a subject about a subject. It's a team debating a subject. Yep. Not, hey, we're just having a conversation. We both meet at the intersection. Right. So do we meet with 2 pieces of pool stick, or do we have a conversation about it? So
we are educating the world. We're changing the world.
That is it.
We're trying to. 1 viewer and 1 follower at a time.
That's it.
Yep, but be more like these guys. You shouldn't agree with everything we say. And honestly, the why I'm bringing up your boy, why are their podcast? I won't say his name anymore now. He's got his 15 seconds. But it's like you're saying that because we said something that one of our opinions upset you that much that you felt the need to drop a comment and almost say like, you guys aren't even worthy of having a podcast because you don't agree.
Right.
That's sad, honestly.
That is.
That's pathetic. But anyways, moving on. Be more like the Battle Hammer, who knows we do not like his fuck your Justice League Battle Hammer. All of them. But we love you, bro. Keep chiming in. Keep commenting. Moving on, dude. Next up, Adrian, your segment.
Oh, man.
Everyone's been waiting. I've been waiting because I have no idea who's on this segment. You've had tons of requests over the past few weeks. So Actually, I forgot to include this in We Respond, so I'm sorry I don't remember who said this, but we got another request for Booster Gold. So
really,
Booster Gold is probably the highest outside of Jonah Hex from a few weeks ago. No, the Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel was highly requested. But Booster Gold, dude, we got another one. So
wow, let me put that on the list. Booster
so guys, I'm trying
Gold.
To get Agent to do Booster Gold for you. I'm gonna keep as long as you ask me online, I'll keep asking him. So
man, but we talk about an asshole. Booster Gold. It's like I can't make it as a man, so I'm gonna turn into a woman. So I can't make it. I'm in the future. Yep. I can't make it as a person in the future, so I'm gonna steal tech, go back in time, so I can be famous.
Sounds kind of Kangish. Sounds a little Kangish
there. Go.
So, all right.
So this week, get right into it.
Let's do it.
So this is another character that's like all over the place, right? So this is akin to Ghost Rider. Mm-hmm. Not so much in that there are multiple Ghost Riders over the years, but this guy, when I say he's all over the place, like he has like levels to him. And anyway, let me just get right to it. So this week's hidden gem is Spawn.
Oh, nice.
Right? So Spawn, Albert Francis Al Simmons.
Yeah.
So created by Image Comics, Todd McFarlane, 1992. So relatively new.
Yeah.
When compared to the other guys like the Superman, the Spider-Mans, and things like that, right?
For people our ages, it's new. Some people are out like, dude, that's like ancient, but for us, it's newer.
Yes, newer.
Yes.
So this guy Simmons, he was a let me switch the cameras. This guy Simmons, he was a mercenary who died and went to hell basically for his crimes against humanity as a soldier, right? So last week we did Blue Marvel, who was also, I mean, these guys could have been like bunkies, dude.
Right.
You know, he was in, I don't think he was in the Marines, but he was, well, I get to that. But so this guy kind of, I would say they didn't talk about his family life early, but his father was a traveling salesman. His mother was a voodoo priestess, basically, or devil worshiper, right? But he also, like Blue Marvel, was a Marine, right? Then he went on to be, he joined the Secret Service, then went on to the CIA, then joined U.S. Security Group, which is an umbrella agency encompassing the CIA, NSA, and NSC, under the command and watch of Jason Wayne, who then later became
Jason.
Right. So after you go out,
Doom, bro.
Huh?
He pulled a Doom with Reed Richards almost.
What was that?
Took his wife.
Well, anyway.
All right.
So this guy, he's basically a mercenary.
Yeah.
Right. And so he goes through all of these missions and stuff. And over time, you know, I guess when you start killing, you know, people in mass, not quite the genocide thing, but when you personally taking out people, you start to feel some kind of way about it. So Al Simmons started to feel some kind of way about it. Well, Jason didn't like that, his commanding officer, because obviously he's a very honed tool that the government spent a lot of money in training, and he wanted him to continue on what he was doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, Al was like, I'm kind of not feeling this. So Jason set him up to be killed. Yep. So when he was on one of his missions, had him in the room, had one of his buddies kill him, put him in a chair, set him on fire. He died, went to hell. So I guess when he went to hell, he went to hell because he did all this bad shit. Well, when he was in hell, he made a deal with the devil, Mela Bogia. And he was like, well, I'm just, you know, I'll make you a hellspawn. Which hellspawns? There are many hellspawns.
Right.
He's just one of them, right? And we'll send you back and blow. He's the baddest one.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna serve this dude all his time. He gets out and starts doing all this stuff. He's like, well, and what he finds out from another hellspawn is the more he uses his power, right? He kind of like drains his battery, and then once he drains his battery, he goes straight back to hell. Well, he didn't want to do that. So he started doing things that didn't require his power. Like his suit is an organism in and of itself. It's a symbiote, and there's a reason that it's a symbiote. It's a symbiote and has its own power set. So he would use that instead of his Hellspawn power because he didn't want to drain his batteries and go back to hell.
Got it.
So he went. So his whole history, there's a lot of history. You know, he's at different wars. He goes back to hell. He actually beheads the guy who created him, Malbolgia. Then he takes over hell. But then there's another character in there who actually ends up being Cain from Cain and Abel.
Okay.
And Cain always wanted to take over hell, so he tricks Spawn and dethrones him and turns Spawn back human, basically. And then at some point, Spawn gets back his powers and looks and all this other kind of stuff, and he has other adventures. But just a lot of stuff going into it. But I'm reading this, I'm like, dude, why do brothers have to go through so much shit
right.
in order to get their superpowers? I mean,
you got to make a deal with the devil and shit.
Dr. Blake, I mean, you know, he just, you know, he found a stick, he becomes Thor. You know, you got this dude on a tricycle jumping trash cans, and he's the Ghost Rider. But this guy, he's got to go through all his school, all his training, dies. Your best friend is Dick Downey, your wife, right? Has a daughter with him. I mean, you got to make a deal with the devil, go back and kill him. You got heaven and earth after you, basically, through all of his adventures. I mean, like, how much does a dude have to go through
for real
in order to be able to, like, you know, spit some
just
some
to get
stuff.
A cape and shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
So he goes through a lot of stuff. So there's that whole thing. Comes back, find out, like I said, his ex-girl is with his best friend. They got a daughter, which, I mean, it's natural progression. He doesn't realize it's because he was tricked by Malbolgia because, you know, he thought, oh, okay, I'm going to let you go see your wife. But, 5 years later.
Exactly.
And then you're so disfigured. He also didn't figure that part out. He thought he was just going to show up looking like him.
Right. No, which he didn't. Looks like a tan raisin, bro.
Right, exactly. So he shows up. Wife doesn't recognize him. He can barely talk. You know, he sees his buddy with his girl, with his daughter, and all this other kind of stuff. So more pain.
Yep.
So he goes off. But now we get to the good stuff, which is the power set.
Yo,
this dude is off
badass,
the chart, dude. This dude is off the chart. I mean, so he has the Hellspawn power, right? What is it? It's called. It actually has a name. Let me see if I can find it here. Letha of the 7th House of K.
Okay.
Also known as K7 Letha. So he basically wears a living symbiotic costume. Why does he wear a living symbiotic costume? Because McFarlane also, guess what, wrote Venom.
Yep.
So there's that tie-in.
Tom McFarlane's a beast, dude.
Yeah, he
does not get enough credit for a lot of what he's done in comics.
No. And one of the things in my notes is that what he always wants is that, you know, he wants Spawn to supersede him as a artist writer, just like, you know, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman has superseded their creators. Yeah. So, which is very cool.
Absolutely.
So his powers, right? So his costume has gone through upgrades. Got the cape, got the chain, kind of like Ghost Rider, right? Yep. Which are able to change shape. The boots and gloves replaced with spikes. Now, after this transformation, the suit starts feeding off of souls. So basically, he can empower himself with the souls of others. Where's Letha 7? Now, when he puts it on, he assumes the dominant role over the suit. Unlike Venom.
It's the opposite.
Exactly. Because you see Eddie. Venom throwing Eddie all around and all this other, making cocktails.
I try to black that part out.
Right. So the suit itself has its own set of powers. Spawn has its own set of powers, and then together they have their own set of powers. So quite dense. Apparently, absolutely. The guy, 450 pounds. So you look at him, looks like a normal, probably 6'2" guy, right? Probably, 2 and some change, but nope. Pretty dense, 450 pounds. His body's completely composed of necroplasm, which is what powers him.
Okay.
That's the think of it as like the acid inside of a battery, right? And the more he uses it, the less he has of it.
Okay.
And then if he uses all this necroplasm, he goes to hell.
Is he recharged or he's done?
I think he has magical abilities that allows him to regenerate that.
But he's got to go back to hell first.
No.
That's just if it gets too low.
Correct.
Got it.
So the necroplasm gives him superhuman strength, speed, and durability. So he's not the Flash, but he's definitely considered a blur when you're looking at him. So he's that fast. While he has internal organs, he don't need them. If they get destroyed in a battle or something, he can regenerate them. But I think it's mostly, I don't think, it's been said that the only reason that he has them or keeps them is it's like a nostalgia to help remind him that he was once human, kind of a deal. But he definitely doesn't need them.
Yeah.
Crazy regenerative process, probably akin to like the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Just pretty much self-generating all the time.
Wait, the Hulk regenerates?
Oh, absolutely.
So he shouldn't be in a fucking arm brace for 6 movies? Sorry, that was a completely different topic, but
yes.
Okay, got it.
He should not be.
Got it. Makes sense.
So and now this guy Al was a badass even before all this stuff, right? So listen to these credentials, right? Master of 13 forms of martial arts.
Damn.
Judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, kung fu, jeet kune, aikido, taekwondo, boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, all of this stuff. So that's from the fighting side. He's a superb marksman, which you have to be when you're in the CIA, and I mean you're basically a killer, right? Then he's fluent in 10 languages.
Damn.
Japanese, we're assuming English as well, right?
Yep.
Japanese, Spanish, French, Chinese, Italian, Portuguese, Latin, Arabic, Persian, and Russian.
Shit. So 10 languages? That's 10 more than some of the people who comment here.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So the language thing, the fighting skill thing, so again, just a badass. He's like a Batman without the Batman moniker.
Yeah.
Before he gets all this other stuff, then we get into the suit that he wears that gives him additional powers. So the necroplasm in his body, it's possible for Spawn to draw this energy back when he needs it. So he can discharge it, but he can also draw it back. But he can also get energy from other things, like the evil of people, animals, things like that. Yeah. So what does it say? Using it to power his abilities without draining his own reserves. So he can use the suit to power his stuff without going into his reserves. He can even get energy from like certain cities. Now, he's not in Gotham, which would be, he would probably be overloaded if he went to Gotham. All the evil shit that's in there, and Gotham even itself. But he can draw powers from other things. What is it? Everything's connected to his nervous system. He can, manifest. He can turn his suit, cape into different things. His suit is offensive and defensive.
Yeah.
The chains are offensive and defensive. They're said to be able to move as fast as bullets. So basically, like Ghost Rider, right? With the chains, he can turn it into like a dagger or whatever he wants to. He has vast magical powers, but Spawn has limited power supply, whose quantity would be shown. So they got this number where if it was going down, it starts out like 9999, and then it goes down from there. It's like a true timer. But of course, each time Spawn uses energy to counter drains. So consequently, Simmons relies primarily on his costumes, natural abilities, or weapons rather than the magical abilities in combat. His biggest limitations is imagination. So it's kind of like the Green Lantern, right? So that's one of, and I still, it's like out of all the lanterns, the Green Lanterns are like the weakest.
Right.
But so his only limitation is his ability to use his imaginations for those powers. It's a fun fact, his powers were said to be inspired by Jesus.
Wow. That's interesting.
McFarlane said that.
Okay.
Basically. Uses powers in a variety of ways, resurrecting the dead, firing blasts of necroplasmic energy, teleportation, flame breathing, transmutation, manipulation of the elements, shape-shifting, flight, talking to animals, reading minds, invisibility, portal creation, time manipulation, soul manipulation, reality warping, regeneration, feed off the evil sins and negative energies of others to augment his strength.
Damn, dude, Jesus was powerful, dude. Shit.
How much other shit do you need to be
for real
in one person, right? I mean, this dude is off the chart. Curing the sick, obviously. He cured Batman. He met up. So in a crossover, Batman's everywhere, right? Yep. In a crossover, Batman, he went after Batman, and Batman nailed him in the center of the face with a batarang.
Of course he did.
And Spawn, because he could have just plucked it out and healed himself, but instead, what does he do? He takes a shoelace and just stitched up his face, and he even left it there. And they're saying that McFarlane left it there because they wanted. He wanted people to know that Spawn had elevated to the point that he was able to. He had a crossover with Batman.
Okay, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I bought it recently. Yeah. I have the Spawn Batman crossover. I've not read it yet because just like we watch all this shit. I have like 97 comics I need to read right now. But right. When I do, we'll definitely discuss it. But yeah, that I mean, it looks cool. It's drawn by Greg Capullo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So other shit. Phasing, psychic links, superhuman senses, telekinesis, cosmic aware. Dude, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so he's like a Franklin Richards kind of deal where he just think of the things that he can't do.
Right.
That would be a shorter list than all the things that he can do. Yep. Overall, just a badass dude. I'm definitely going to look at it. It's said that in one writing, what happened when he was basically a hellspawn when he killed the guy who made him. He took over hell, but then that somehow broke the connection between him and hell. Okay. So now he's not bound by. So in other words, a weakness of a hellspawn would be to be killed by a heavenly agent or weapon. Got it. But because he broke that connection with hell, he's no longer vulnerable to the heaven shit either. So it's like Superman outgrew the kryptonite weakness, right? Yep. So he got to the point where he actually attained like a heavenly kind of status, and he actually put the devil and God in timeout and then recreated reality. Sure. So this dude grew to that, again, depending on who writes it, right? So he grew to that level of an entity. So at that level, I mean, who do you even put him in a room with?
Correct.
Right? So, and overall, I mean, this is a fantastic character. He's definitely been nerfed in comics, movies, and everything else. But then again, how do you portray a Franklin Richards? How do you portray a Galactus? How do you portray, so you got these characters where you really can't put him in a movie because you're probably not going to do him justice. But at the very basics, this guy should have been throughout movies probably at least as much as the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Right? And the Ghost Rider's had, 3 movies of his own?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Something like that. Definitely underrated. And I'm actually going to look, and there's other stuff too. Like he carries around like 6,000 souls in his body, which he feeds just all kind of nonsense. But after you read his list of things that he can do, it's like, what's the point of keep going on?
Right.
So incredible pick. I'm definitely going to be doing deep dive more into that. I hope McFarlane gets his wish and at least gets another movie.
Sounds like he is.
Kicks out. Yeah.
He confirmed the script's done. The title is King Spawn.
Yeah,
and I think they got the green light. So
cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what studio is making it?
I think it's Blumhouse. Actually, I believe so. I could be wrong, and we're not experts. Fact check all of this shit. Matter of fact, his name's not even Spawn. No, just kidding. But yeah, so hopefully down the road soon, and they're going for rated R.
Jamie Foxx.
That I'm not sure. I know as most lately he was the last one tied to that role, but I don't know if that's changed or not.
Okay.
There was that one Spawn movie back in '97, which I actually really enjoyed. I got to revisit that. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it was held back by just the technology at the time.
Sure.
And it also was held back by the PG-13 rating. This is before studios realized that you can make a rated R movie because a lot of these comic stories are geared towards not just adults, but older, teenagers. Like not, 12-year-olds, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, So I think now's a good time for something like this. One thing I'll say, if you're going to do a deep dive, there's a phenomenal animated series that HBO made years ago. It's from the 90s, but it's a Spawn animated series. Dude, I
started watching that.
You started it?
I like the first show is like dudes, if it's the one I remember, some dude in the alley gets his head blown off or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Dude, it's great. I love that. I haven't watched it in years, but every once in a while when there's nothing to watch, I'll throw on an episode of it. It's fucking great.
Yeah. And it's adult.
It is. Oh, it's very adult, dude. There's titties and everything, dude, So anyways, moving on, dude. Great hidden gem, Adrian, as always, as Sons of Sekhmet would say. I know he would say this. That's 5-star presentation, dude. So curious to see who's on next week. How do you find out who's on next week? Well, you watch the show next week, obviously. It's not that hard. All right, real quick, a little promo for next week, Adrian. We're going to dive into the world of Batman, Haunted Night, right? So we lied to you. We said we were going to do this today, but with the amount of time that we took up doing other things,
right?
We're going to do this next week. So if you've not read this yet and you want to join along, read it. Check it out. It's a great book.
What is it? Absolute Batman?
This is the absolute version. So actually, it's a good thing you brought that up. This thing is a ginormous book here. Not as big as that year one artist one. But yeah, dude, this is how I prefer to read them, this size. I wish like every good graphic novel came in a
Open that back cover. That's some nice artwork right there.
Yeah, dude. That's your boy Tim Sale, dude. Tim Sale. Rest in peace, Tim Sale. Tim Sale's was a beast. And he did a lot and it was very like minimalistic too.
Right.
Dude, But anyways.
Well, but that's a sign of a honed artist.
Correct.
When you can convey something with very minimal features and colors and things like that. It's the amateurs that you got to have like 13 colors,
right?
And then you look at it, it's like what is this, pizza?
Yeah, no, dude, he did a lot with, and it was very subtle. A lot of good shadow work, like a lot of I don't want to say empty space, but I'm not an artist, so I don't know all the terms, but dude, it's not as detailed as like I love Jim Lee. It's more of it's almost a noir feel,
right.
From a comic book standpoint. But we're going to dig into that. We'll be talking about that next week. But we're going to wrap this up with everybody's favorite segment, maybe. Agree to disagree. This is probably it's like we save the education for the back end. They just sat under your learning tree for the last 15, 20 minutes or so. And now we're going to rapid fire some agree to disagree opinions. I'm going to give these to Adrian. He's going to let me know if he agrees or disagrees. And then you all are going to cry about it all in the comments for the rest of the week. And then I'm going to be typing shit back to you. And it's going to be great. We're all going to love it. We're all going to fucking love it. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Number 1. Venom 3 was the worst of all 3 badly entertaining, ridiculous Venom movies.
Disagree.
Spider-Man 3 was better than all 3 Venom movies.
Agree.
Black Adam, which may be the only dance for The Rock as Black Adam, was better than Venom 3, The Last Dance.
Agree.
John Turturro's hypocrisy trumps my own.
I'm unsure, but I would say agree.
Okay. Spawn would solo the Justice League.
Agree.
And that's for you, Battlehammer. She-Hulk was better than Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Batman is the best superhero in comics, period.
Oh, my God. Yes, agree.
You agree? Okay.
Sure, agree.
Right. Yeah, I got to sense you don't. I sense some sarcasm there, Adrian. So for all you that aren't in tune, that was actually a disagree. The Boar Fest, known as the Eternals, was actually better than Venom 3.
Wow. Yeah. I disagree.
Okay. Base Doctor Doom would kick the shit out of Base Kang. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking tech.
Okay.
I would agree, though.
All right. Yeah. I'm just thinking the magic gives him the edge. That's my thing is, because I didn't even know that till recently how great Doctor Doom is, with, like, to the point where I think I said this earlier. Doctor Strange has said he could be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Absolutely.
I had 11 this week. Number 10, The Penguin is the best show on TV right now.
Absolutely.
And number 11, if you are not subscribed to the Only Comics YouTube channel, then She-Hulk is your favorite show. Wow. There's a little fun in there, dude. So,
yeah, I'm not even going to ask.
Yeah, it's not even really a greedy dismiss. It's, go subscribe to. What are you waiting for?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because if you judge us based off of just this segment or any other segment you see on TikTok, you might dislike us. But if you check out the YouTube, you will just love us. You will.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's a fair. Actually, that should be an agree to disagree. If someone out there watches the Only Comics show on YouTube, they're going to love it.
I agree.
There we go. See, I just finished strong, dude.
That's it.
So that's it for this week. It was a fun ride, Adrian. As always, thanks for coming out.
On. Absolutely.
There's a lot. Dude, we're all over the place this week. So
literally, all
dude,
over
if you have ADHD, this is the show for you. I promise you, because I got it. We all got it. It's great. We just bounce around like a squirrel, like that squirrel in Ice Age, dude. We're like a squirrel on methamphetamines chasing a nut, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
We could call the show that.
Or not.
Or not. We don't have to. But stay tuned. Well, don't stay tuned here, but on Wednesday of this week, and if you watch this after Wednesday, sorry, maybe you waited too long, but the year, almost said year two, Batman Year 1 video will be dropping. Nice. And then next week, right here, we're going to be talking about the Haunted Night and all kinds of other fun shit. So, anyways, thanks for checking us out. Adrian, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, man.
Repping the Black Adam as always.
That's it.
And guys, where you can get this awesome hat and other merch from Only Comics, go to onlycomicsmerch.com. And I saw some orders the other day, so if you ordered your stuff, you should be getting it in a few days. Hey, man, post a video, tag us in it. We'll reshare. I'll repost it.
Sure.
Rep the merch. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already. You know where to find us on YouTube, on Spotify, and some shorts on TikTok. Adrian.
Dude, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day.
There you go.
That's it. Should be warm enough, right? So my knees aren't cold.
Yeah, it might be a little warm.
But I'm definitely rocking these shorts, dude. I'm in until I see some snow.
I'm with you, bro. Yep. Keep it going. Anyways, we'll see you next week.
See you.